Sup, everybody? Been a long time. Just real quick, can y'all hear me? Sound all right? Just making sure. Let's see. Already, let's see. We got Sherry G, Lone Wanderer 360, Z Man, Scott Pigsley. Good to see you, buddy. Donner Path. Good to see you too. I'm glad that. I'm sorry it was such a late notification. Actually, I started working on it a few hours ago. After I talked to Chris about an hour and a half ago, but I worked on it for a while. But then family stuff, I had to talk to my son about some stuff, and we ended up talking for way longer than I expected, and I kind of got behind. But hey, what's up, Samurai? So thank you very much for being here. I do not expect to get as many people as Chris does. Because actually there's a lot of people in Austin. I talked to him on the phone. He's doing really good, really good. But he's with Kilco, the Junkies. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Crusaders. That basically tonight's La Quinta. So Crusaders, Junkies. Basically everybody's there. He says a whole bunch of fans have been like hitting him and all the other guys up and stuff like that. A lot of people showed up that aren't like normal, and yeah. So a lot of other things didn't. There's a lot of people there. He was surprised at how many quote unquote non-whiskey tubers were there, or how many people that he hadn't seen before, and there's a lot of fans. It was really cool. He says it's really cool. So excuse me, I had something in my teeth. I'm kind of sort of eating at the same time. It's not all going to be about whiskey tonight. I got to pace myself through this, and then got cheese tonight. So, and if you're not subscribed to Whiskey Encore, please subscribe to Whiskey Encore. Also in the chat, we have Whiskey Samurai, like I already acknowledged before. But if you like Hot Wheels and you like whiskey, or hell, just if you like whiskey, or you just like Hot Wheels, go ahead and subscribe to Whiskey Samurai. Last night, officially, even though people thought I had beef with Bourbon, which never was beef, people just made more out of it than because I made a statement to be a smart ass, and it turned into a little bit more than it should have. But congratulations to Bourbon for passing me up last night. So he is now yet another person that has passed me up in subscribers. But I does that. Number one, that doesn't matter. It's lifting the community, and the fact that I haven't done anything for content worth a damn in months and everybody knows my story. So I'm not going to get into that. There's no reason to bring that crap up anymore because we're here to have some fun. Let's see the La Quinta is going to be crazy because so for those who don't know, Bastards Ball this weekend, I'm sure everybody in the chat does, but in case there's somebody here that doesn't know about it, it's a gathering once a year in Austin, Texas for Whiskey Tribe. And Daniel and Rex host a get together at the Vault at the what's it called, the Whiskey University. The place where they shoot everything. The Vault, the Fang and Feather is the bar there. Now they have another little kind of speakeasy type separate room now that I saw some pictures of. So they're there for a gathering, but it's tomorrow. People start getting there on Thursday, and there's been some tours. If you go and look at Kilco's Instagram and some of the other people that there's Instagram, they went to him. I saw Rot Gut in one of his videos. Rot Gut and Erica were with him, and I believe it's Still Austin. They were doing a tour of Still Austin. I know that the Davilars and stuff were trying to do some tours, and there's a lot of people that are just like doing tours and stuff for a few days, and then tonight's the La Quinta blowout. So there's going to be a whole heck of a lot of, I believe, a lot of hangovers and late mornings tomorrow. But tomorrow there is the actual Bachelor's Ball, and then that closes the weekend. There are some people that are going to be there probably till Tuesday morning. I know that Bourbon Battalion flew out first thing this morning, so he's there. Let's see, like I say, Kilco's there, Rock Gut Reviews there. They're all together. They're all either at the La Quinta or they've been hanging out with each other off and on throughout the weekend so far. So, hey, what's up, Schlong? Thank you, Bourbon, Schlong. I know you guys. You guys are busy people, and I'm glad that you're here. I know everybody here is busy, but it was a very late posting, so I understand that if people don't show up. So it's not. I don't have a co-host. I'm not doing Christopher Walken or Herbert the Pervert or Harry Carey, but it's tonight's pub. Obviously, it's going to be pub style. So if there's anybody that decides that they want to jump in, don't hesitate. Links at the top. We'll go until hopefully I was supposed to call Cheech today. I forgot to call Cheech, so I'll message him in a little bit and then tell him just to tell me when he's ready to go. And yes, like Chris and HBR, I will be eating. But everybody knows that I have this thing about eating on stream. Emily Chambers, my spirit animal, freaking Emily Chambers. Let's see, Z-Man. Let's see, did I miss anybody? If I missed you, yell at me, scream at me. I deserve it. I think I pretty much got everybody. Yeah, I don't think I missed anybody. All right, so if I missed some stuff in the chat, I'm still trying to get used to doing this again. This is actually my first live that I've hosted in over 3 months. So just getting used to all that stuff back in. So like I said, anybody that wants to jump in, have no problem. Just go ahead and jump in. We'll have some fun. So what's everybody drinking? I'm gonna take some. Oh hey, what's Neophyte? Thank you for jumping in. Right now I'm just drinking a Franciscana with my chicken, my roasted chicken. And then I have a 32 ounce of Pacifico. But I am going to have a pour since this is a whiskey channel. Let's see. I think I'm going to start off with an Old Forester 1910. Sounds good right now. Let's see. Am I chopped liver? No, you're not chopped liver. I didn't see you early in Neophyte. I got you. All right. So, and it's good to see you there. And hopefully, if you've got your situation with the cameras, internet, blah, 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 whatever, if you're not having any issues, click the link at the top. Jump on. All right. So, Old Forester 1910. Let's see. Oh yeah, Schlong. Today I got hit with five straight freaking emails saying, "Oh, that you got my September payment, and then you got my October payment," and I'm like, "Yeah, I got the email for all my emails for what and then the sexual chocolate purchase and everything else. I re-got all that stuff today." That's fun. It was funny. I was sitting there going, "Why is he resending me all these emails?" But that's hilarious. Hey, Whiskey Eyes, Leon and Trisha, Livewire Misky. Hey, same to you, Mike. Obviously, it's Mike. Adam wouldn't flip me off. Adam would come on here and flip me off on screen. But yeah, Mike, I always Trisha, if you want to come on, there's no problem. Just click. Anybody that wants to come on, click at the top. It's pub style thing tonight, and plus, I would love to have some women on. Women on here talking to me and stuff. Like Trisha and Stahl. So jump on. Let's see. Bourbon. What's Bourbon? What to the cow? Oh, okay. So either Bourbon was cleaning today, and now he's going to his happy place, the couch, which is also, if anybody knows Leon and Trisha, Leon's happy space is the couch also. But they're talking about something that was going on last night. So let's see. I wish I could. I'm beating with this. Yeah. Hey, but Trisha, it's not. I'm not a freaking any kind of like model. I'm not a model. I'm a pretty suspect myself. But yeah, completely. I understand if you don't want to jump on, that's completely fine. I just thought I'd throw that out there. But anybody that does, jump on. My hope is I talked to HBR, and I told him that the link would be up there, so there would be no problem if he went ahead and. Well, I would like him once he was on his way to the La Quinta from where they went to dinner or whatever. So I told him that once he gets everybody everybody's in the same area hanging out or whatever, that if he wants to, real quick on his phone or whatever, or any of them, Kilco, Rock Gut, Crusaders, any of those guys, they want to go live for a few minutes to jump on here, click the link, and then go live, and then that way everybody can see what's going on. Let's see. Chilling. Okay, who's this going to be? Hey. What's going on, Anthony?
Nothing, and I'm trying to keep it that way.
So, are you just outside your place? It looks like you got a little fire going, or are you camping again this weekend?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. The wife decided I needed to get out, and I said, okay.
So she pushed you out the door and locked it and said
into the car, and yes, that's pretty much it.
Stay outside with your friends until freaking.
Well, she's actually trying to do something online for continuing education credits because she has to renew her teaching license one more time before she retires. So, and these are free.
Yeah.
So she has an opportunity to get some. So she's going to do it.
That's good.
If the internet cooperates, and that's always a big if up here at camp. So if I pop out, it's not of my doing.
Oh no, right. I know you're up in northern Nevada, right?
I am too.
Yeah, because we've went through this when multiple times when we were going every weekend up there. So
yeah, and there are days that the internet just fires on all cylinders through cellular, and then there are days that it isn't worth a pot to piss in.
So, number one, congratulations on the fact that you are working again. Yes. I don't know if that. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I don't know why I say congratulations because I don't know where.
Yes.
Congratulations on the fact that you have an income coming again, but I don't know if you're happy to be working again.
No, I liked being a kept man.
Yeah.
That was nice. I will admit that. Letting my wife keep me in the style I become accustomed. Yeah, that was perfect.
Yeah, but like I said, it's good to see that you freaking those things. It's good to see that that over the past few months, there's a few of us that were unemployed that now have jobs. There's people that have lost their jobs during the last, say, 6 months and got new jobs, like Samurai. I don't know he hasn't announced exactly what his good news is, But the only good news that I knew that was on the horizon was possibly him getting back to work, because he had a bunch. If nobody knows, there's a bunch of stuff going on where he was working, everything was cool. Then all of a sudden he had to move, emergency move, because of situation with landlord. And then he got a new place and then lost the job. And now he's been looking. And so, Samurai, if you want to come on and give us an update, click the, or I don't know if you're actually at work right now and just kind of watching in the background, but if you want to come and give an update, feel free to do so. Mike Franklin. Amy Bohm. Hey, I'm sorry it took so long to acknowledge you. Thank you for joining, Amy. Luckily, I made a vow to not do giveaways until I'm back to 100% of being able to do so. So guess what, Amy? I don't need to ask you to track anything tonight. Yeah, but if for any reason somebody felt the need to help out to help out the channel, there you go. You can go ahead if you want to. I'm not asking. Just put it out there in case somebody does want to contribute to the channel. I am working my way back to doing some the live thing. I don't think I'm going to do it too often. I think it'll be more of a substitute situation, only because everybody has a live now. So I'd rather support. I'd rather support other people's lives because of my work schedule, only being able to come on for like an hour here or 15 minutes here, or sometimes it's 2 or 3 days before I can come on a live. I'd rather support other people's lives than go ahead and try to push my own again. So like tonight, Chris wasn't going. I called Chris to make sure he wasn't going on and that Josh wasn't going to try to take his place or anything like that. And then went ahead and put it up because I was going to pregame him initially, but family things kind of changed that a little bit. So you haven't done a lot. You haven't done your live in a little while there, Anthony. You still fighting all the fixing of your house and the internet there?
In my last probably week, I'm thinking sometime next week, let's say Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, they should be moving the furniture out of storage back to the house. And I can sit in my recliner again. And then once that's done, I'm working on one of the bedrooms to turn it back into a little studio to where I have my office again, where I can set up everything. And when I want to join you, or if I want to do my lives again from time to time, get the Bourbon Neophyte Lounge going, I can just boom, hit the button, and I'm up and running.
Yeah, that's freaking good. That's actually a really it's cool to hear that and everything else. I mean, I'm not going to make my return to live on YouTube because of like every one of my friends has a live that I want to participate in and I don't want to go up against. And now with people jumping around with Deathless Dogs coming on and a lot of these other and now I think that I want to focus back on what I originally focused on when I started this whole thing, which was promoting other people's helping to promote other channels, but also to help other people that want to go live or want to up their game, helping them get to that point. So I think that like last night, Trisha was mentioning that she might want to go live, start doing maybe a live stream here and there. So if she's decides that she wants to do that, I want her to be able to reach out to me and I can concentrate some time on helping them get to that to a point to where they're comfortable doing lives. It's good to see Women of Whiskeys going live on Wednesday. That was freaking awesome to see Michelle and Jen Arduino go live. It's going to be, there's more and more female. I don't like to use the word influencers, but whiskey tubers that are starting to go live more. You got Lipstick that does their once a month thing with Sam and Sarah and Erica and stuff. And then you got, like I said, Women of Whiskeys. Adriana has blown up with Whiskey Mountains. So this is really, really cool to see. I'm hoping that some of the people that I want to see live decide at some point in time they'll go live. Like Emily Chambers needs to jump on a Women of Whiskeys. Lilith has been live with all of us at some point in time over the course of this pandemic, whiskey tube craze, and everything else.
Oh yeah.
Love her to death. I have to say she's probably my favorite. Well, I'm sorry, Lilith. Unlike some people, you are not my number one favorite Australian. I have to go with Simon.
Now I know who just gave you that dislike.
But Lilith, you are number 2. And Chris, you and Ken are boxing it out, so I haven't quite decided number 3 yet. But so then Edward Fulmer. I'm sorry, I just noticed that you said that you were here. I'm still trying to get used to all this again. Z-Man. But you did say something earlier about BC Rich. It's just the old cheap ass tribal. I picked it up used for like $100. It's just an old BC Rich tribal, Kerry King tribal. And then I have the Mustang V, and then I have a what do you call it, Music Man 6-string, and then I've got some basses, a Washburn and a Telly over. And yes, if you ask, I still don't know how to play guitar. I just freaking love the way they look, and someday I'll take the time to actually learn. Let's see. Oh, she's too high. Lilith is too high of a ranking officer to be to do streaming shenanigans, according to Bourbon. But yeah, it's just good to see. Since I've been back and everything else, watching people, how much they've grown.
Hey, I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Captain, for you. E.H. Taylor.
Right.
18-year marriage. What would be a good retail price if I could find a bottle? Does anybody know?
Okay,
I can't quite see the chat. I'm
okay.
on my phone. So.
All right. So anybody that has like a good oh, okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, I forgot that was on there. I'll fix that. Sorry, Shane. I had the wheels thing from months ago still on the freaking ribbon. I got to just fix that. For me, okay. So E.H. Taylor. I have some single barrels and some small batches. I've never been able to come across a barrel proof. I've never been able to come across any of the like warehouse C's or anything like that for anything that wasn't secondary. But I told myself that because I like E.H. Taylor, but I don't love E.H. Taylor, that I wasn't going to spend over like $150 for any E.H. Taylor bottle. So that kind of restricts me. But technically, suggested retail price is they're all $100 or less. Even the special bottles. So unless you're not in a control state, I'm not in a control state, so you're going to see Liquor Lineup and those guys, because the Liquor Lineup, even though they're a larger, they usually get some really good stuff. For some reason, when it comes to Taylor, they may get a case, 6 bottles at the max. And so they immediately go to secondary, and you're looking at even at lineup where they don't do a lot of super markup on it in case it's really, really rare. It's still going to probably be close to $300 for a bottle of that. So
yeah, that's what I've been seeing, and so I'm like, I thought for some reason that it was at least double that, and I'm sure it is somewhere. If somebody wants it, they'll pay $600 or more for a bottle, but
right,
I won't. It's good, but it's not that good.
Yeah.
And like I've seen small batches going for $100. I'm like, that's ridiculous.
Yes. Well, yeah, that's the thing too, is that the small batch thing, like the most I ever paid for a small batch was the first bottle I bought because nobody had it. Like I couldn't find it anywhere, and I paid $70 for a bottle of small batch.
Mm-hmm.
And what's really bad was that was almost 2 years ago, and people gave me crap about why'd you spend so much? It's only $40, but I couldn't find it anywhere. But
Yeah.
then there was this onslaught of small batch, like what did we say, like a year ago? There was this onslaught on the West Coast where everybody had small batch. It was $35.
I was going to say, I
And
paid $40 for my first bottle with tax
yeah,
of small batch at
right.
Total Wine.
Right. But it was like, remember, like it was like I want to say it was not this past summer. It's not this past summer, but like last year, 2020 summer, there was this onslaught of everybody had small batch. Nobody was restricting it to one bottle, and it was like $35, and it lasted for like 2 months, and then it went right back to being allocated again.
Yeah.
So I had bought like 4 or 5 bottles, and I think I bought 6 bottles. I sent one to Kilco. I'm not sure if I sent one to Samurai, but I sent some bottles out, and then I kept 4 for myself. And like I said, it's just I like it. And I have, and eventually at some point in time, I'll probably give away another bottle, but it's not at the top of my list. Like everybody, like really put. I mean, myself personally, I like 1792 full proof, and I like bottled in bond 1792 a little bit better than EH Taylor small batch, but that's just my own. And I'm gonna get freaking fire. There's gonna be people throwing fireballs at me in the chat or whatever, but that's just the way that's just my taste, I guess.
They'll get over it. Don't worry.
So let's see. Yeah, small batch for $100. I mean, if you've never had it and you have, I'm not going to ever tell anybody to not buy something they want and pay what they want for it. But my own opinion is that a bottle that retails for $35 to $40, that in general you can find. Now, I know there's states where you can't find any EH Taylor or any small batch anywhere. If you think about it, if you watch the guys in the community and somebody says, or you go on Instagram and follow Whiskey Locator or Sleepless Kimmy or Whiskey Throttle 1126, when they go hunting, or Bourbon when he goes hunting, and he comes across those small batches for $35, $40, hit those people up. If they have the means and they can get it to you, even after shipping, you're not even close to $100. Or after hand delivery fees, you're not even close to $100. So
that's how I got my Elijah Craig rye, Whiskey Nose.
Yeah.
He hand delivered it because he was coming out here. So, because out here, the rye, it's like 85, 75, $100, different places. And I said, again, that's a $50, $60 bottle, maybe. Just like Toasted Barrel. I found another Toasted Barrel. I picked it up, and I just think it's delicious. And so I'm halfway through the one I got about 2 weeks ago, maybe 3. So now I got a backup. So now I'm not, how do I say this? I'm going to finish that bottle sooner or later. I have it up here, but I haven't poured it yet. But now if I finish it, I don't care, because now I can say, man, that was good, and I have another one. But I made a thing that I'm not buying backups unless I really, really, really like it, because then you start running out of room on the shelf, is what it comes down to.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
so you got to pick and choose, what you want, what you don't want. Like I found a little book. I picked one of those up. And
which one? The newest one?
Yeah.
How is that? Is it pretty good?
I got it the other day. I haven't even taken it out of the box. But it has 15 years, the oldest juice in it, down to 2-year. 15, I want to say 15, 10, 6 and 2, or 15, 10, 5 and 2, but I know 2's the youngest juice that's in it.
Right. Well, it's like this. I mean, I've only cracked this and only had one pour out of this little book. It's the Lessons Learned. It's the one last year, the one with the brown rice.
Okay.
And I don't. Other people have issues with it, especially a lot of
Yeah.
people have a problem with the whole Jim Beam brown rice freaking experiment. And
Oh yeah.
I don't, well, because they did Little Book, and then they did that those 375s of that when they did all the different like triticale, when they did like the 7 different grains or whatever.
Yep.
And they people gave, people always say, well, that they always give me flack about the fact that I don't have a problem with the brown rice whiskeys, and I was like, have you ever tasted the triticale? At least freaking, at least I can actually stomach the freaking
Yeah.
the rice.
Yeah.
But so let's see. I'm surprised that, I'm really kind of surprised that nobody else jumped in already. But I guess some people, they just don't like
they're
me.
shy.
They don't like me. It's all right. I know Schlong doesn't like me. I know
That's
Mike.
right.
I know that.
That's
I know
right.
that freaking what's his name? Livewire with Stahl. He's he don't particularly care for me a whole lot either. So. So, but Anthony, I can honestly say that freaking I know that you've been like bouncing in and out of stuff because of the situation with your house, the flooding that happened.
What a mess, I'm telling you. And it just was one appliance that decided to go haywire. And I guess people heard me say, we were even home. We just had no reason to walk down to that end of the house. And so I went to go get something out of the garage, and I didn't forget, when I went down the hall, that water oozed up between my feet. And I'm like, oh, no. But that's how it goes. And it's all done. The flooring's in, the walls are in, the painting is done. The new washer and dryer is in, it's working, and the shelves are built. And now it's just coordinating the furniture. But the thing is, I work Monday through Friday, and I work mostly afternoons. So I told them basically, you got to come in the morning, and you got to be out by 12 so I can get ready and leave for work.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. So anyway.
Holy crap.
Holy crap.
No, you can't see the background. You can't see who's in the
chat.
The waiting room, the green room.
Yeah.
This is somebody that I have had no contact with in a while because I haven't been on. He can be a polarizing guy, but he's never done anything to me. So, but 21090, thank you for joining. And I'm going to go ahead and bring him on. Bourbon Beginnings, hey, what's up? I'm going to bring him on. We haven't seen him in a long time. Hey, you know what? It's my stream. I'm going to do shit my way. This is the man, the myth, the legend, the Swami.
Also known as your stepdad. Your mom says hello.
Hey,
Captain
Swami,
Polarizing, what's
up,
up?
man? Long time no see.
Well, I don't even have a channel anymore. I just fucking want to say hi to Mashville.
Yeah, I know you stopped that stuff. I know you've popped on here and there, but I just haven't seen you in months, not even in the chat. Nice to see.
I've taken once COVID kind of, it's still around, but once it kind of like died down and I've been working like a motherfucker and hanging out with friends and family, I just got no time for the social media thing. It's so I don't know. Well, I officially killed my channel about a month back, so it's gone completely. And whatever. Some of you guys are like, so I just like to say hi and shoot the shit with you guys. So let you guys know.
Great for stopping in. Thank you.
So yeah, and I know that I'm not gonna if somebody decides look, I'm gonna say this out in public. Swami and I have never had any kind of ill words or anything else with each other. I don't know what the drama is with anybody else in general because I didn't get into it because I'm not in freaking high school. I'm not 12 years old. So I didn't want to get.
Don't even talk about it, man. Dude, who cares? If people
are upset with me, I'm sorry. I'm sorry the fact that you are upset with me, if or whatever. But this guy, right, like I said, I ain't got no ill will. So therefore,
Hey,
Yeah, shit.
I sent a really sweet message to those people that you think might be upset, and I told them that I was in the wrong that night. So they never wrote back. So I manned up and acted like a man who
Okay.
took responsibility for that evening that caused all that drama. But whatever, man. It's okay. It's
But I
okay.
can honestly say that you actually look healthy for the first time I've ever seen you.
Well, my AIDS is a little less right now. I don't know. I've been taking the Magic Johnson cocktail. It's been good.
I mean, I know that we had that whole thing with the GERD thing for a while, and then
Oh, I had that. The GERD's still around. I just got to take pills for the rest of my life. So I got to take pantoprazole for every morning for the rest of my freaking life, and that's how it works. But it's good. I'm eating burgers again and stuff, and I've gained a lot of weight, and I've started hitting the gym again, and I'm feeling good. And I made my the second time in my career tonight. I made 100% back tip tonight off of $175 bill. Dude gave me $175, and I was just like, dude, did you make a
Holy
mistake?
smokes.
I was like, did you make a mistake? He's like, no, you make the best whiskey sours I've ever had. And I was like, cool.
Cool. Well, you know what, Swami? I want to say I'm glad to hear that your health has improved. My uncle passed away from AIDS because they didn't have.
I'm fucking
Well,
joking.
I'm just saying. Okay, I didn't know that. I thought you were being
I'm sorry
serious.
about your uncle. I don't mean to laugh about that. I'm just saying I didn't know that your uncle had AIDS. I
Yeah, he
apologize.
had passed away from it, but that was before they even really had any of the cocktails. And of course, he got it in the '80s when nobody knew really was. When you talked about GERDs, I was like, that's what they
Now
call it.
you're making me
'Cause
feel bad that I made a joke that I
No,
had AIDS. So
no, it's all right. I
all
don't
right.
take offense that he and I weren't the closest. He just pissed me off a lot, but you know,
All right.
I'm good with it. He's in a better place, so that's that.
And
But
I have a stepsister who died about 7 years ago from a heart attack, and I was so happy she died. I'm not even kidding. Like she was just a
Oh,
horrible person.
eh,
Horrible.
I understand
Like,
that.
it's mean to say that, but some people you're like, good.
Yeah,
She was one of them. I was like, hey,
Swami.
but yeah,
Oh,
he did, and they didn't have it. And but
I have
healthy.
seven. I have 7 sisters. I could lose 1 or 2. It's not the worst thing.
7. Were you the only boy?
Yep.
Me, that's how I was. I didn't have 7, but I had 2 sisters. I was the oldest, but I was the only boy in a house with 3 women. My mother and 2 sisters. Growing up, my mom was a single parent, but
Emily, my favorite. I love Emily. Emily's right away. Sorry. I love you, Emily. You know I love you. Emily's one
yep.
of the few people, never judge me, really chill chick. She understands my sense of humor, never got upset about it. She's a good woman.
Oh yes, Emily's awesome. See, who did I miss? I missed somebody. Oh, One Mo Cast.
hey,
Good
one
to
more
see
cast.
you.
Yeah.
If you want to jump in, links at the top. Anybody else that wants to jump in, links at the top.
Hey, Tommy, is that a beer you're drinking? I can't tell. You
Yeah.
had a root beer.
No, it's water that's gone really bad. I left it on the counter for like a week and it turned this color.
Well, that definitely builds your immune system.
Mm-hmm. Ah, that's good. It's beer. I'm drinking. I had a crappy Stella, and now I'm on to a red. This is
You know,
Laboreal. You guys don't know what Laboreal is. It's a Quebec-based brewery, and they do some really good. Their beers aren't very good, but they do a really nice red. So their ambers are nice.
I never
I
was.
still don't drink the hard liquor. I've quit the hard liquor. It's been a very long time, and I don't touch the hard liquor anymore.
I'm
I
not
think
fond
half
of
the reason why
Stella.
I have stomach issues is because I ran a whiskey channel for 7 years, and I think and I always try to tell people that I say like it's probably the main culprit of why I got stomach issues is not realizing, and that's one thing I like about Stan. Stan decided to take a break from it too, and I think everybody that does this stuff, and I don't tell you to quit, don't quit drinking, but just realize that drinking 5 to 6 ounces of whiskey daily is not good for your body.
No.
All right? And you guys need to realize, collect it, have fun with it, but use it sparingly. Understand that this is the first generation of people under 40 are getting liver diseases because of what happened with COVID. The past 2 years, things like this, like social media gathering and people drinking, they were doing it daily for a long time. And I always feel like, oh, what happened there?
He has really bad. He's actually camping in northern Nevada, so he's his internet isn't the greatest, so it'll drop. He'll be back. He'll be back if he can get it going again.
Yeah. I always tell people, like, just have fun with it, but understand that a lot of people have put out a lot of false information over the years about the health benefits of hard alcohol. There is no health benefits. Zero. Understand you're doing this and you're drinking it. Understand it's for fun. It's your personal responsibility. It's your personal choice. If you want to drink it, drink as much as you want. But just know that it can fuck with your system. It can fuck with your health.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and say something that I was gonna say a little bit later, but so I've talked with my son for the first time in a while now because I saw a post. I hadn't talked to him in a couple months. He lives in North Dakota, and his schedule is completely different from mine. And so I saw a post on Facebook where he said 4 months sober and in the best place I've been in a long time. Now, I didn't know that he was struggling with alcohol. He had a few years, when he was like 21, 22, right around there where you're just partying all the time, he got himself into it's not to say trouble, but he knew he was going way down the wrong path, and he kind of like laid off it for a while. But I didn't know he was having issues with it. So I called him today and said, "Hey, what's going on? Give me the heads up." And we had a conversation. And I said, "So why is it that a few months ago you were worried about me stopping YouTube, my whiskey channel?" And he's like, "Because you get to choose what you drink or you don't drink. I don't." He goes, I'm not here to tell you what to do or anything else. But his whole thing is that he chose to stop drinking, that he doesn't judge anybody else for drinking because he understands that there is a such thing as a casual drinker, but you have to know at what point in time you might need to take a step back. There's a reason why. And he doesn't really watch a whole lot of Whiskey Tube or anything like that, but he even knows that there's some of the friends of my channel and stuff like that they do this thing where once a quarter, Brian Kilco is one of the guys that sticks to the the Whiskey Tribe's schedule, where once or twice a year, or I say it's once a quarter, I think it's once every 3 months, they don't drink for a week. They take a whole week off, reset, and then that way, and then it's
not only good for your health benefits, it's also good to reset your palate, because when I was doing 2-3 reviews a week back in the day, I realized it got to a point where whiskey was starting to get really, especially because I was doing Scotch. Now bourbon has become as expensive as Scotch, but back in the day, like, Scotch was really expensive.
Right.
And it was like, it got to a point where I had to drink like literally 30-year-old Scotch in order to satisfy the flavors that I needed to get, And so it's always good to take like maybe a month off of drinking, because then you're going to start enjoying the cheaper shit again. Like I took a year off of drinking any hard alcohol. And I remember the first whiskey I had when I got back was like an Ardbeg 10, which is like, basic Scotch. It's not, the best stuff, but I remember drinking it thinking, oh my God, this is so fucking complex and beautiful. And I was like,
well, yeah, that's the thing
too.
too.
Back, that shit would have been something I wouldn't even touch. It would have been like, I don't want to drink Ardbeg 10.
That's swill. That's swill. I'm past that.
Yeah. So like, when you take time off of it, you actually enjoy the simpler drams out there,
Yeah, well, my thing is that I took that couple months off when the mental thing, I wanted to get away from it and try to reset this. But what I ended up doing was resetting this too, with the palate and everything else, because I didn't drink for 2 months. And then what happened was that I decided that instead of trying to go back to my hitter bottles of the high proof whatever, that I would start over from the beginning, bottom shelf, low proof, work my way up and enjoy when I first started this whole thing, I was enjoying what I was drinking. Then it got more into I was drinking what everybody else was drinking, trying to find out why they enjoy it, and getting away from what I was doing. And eventually it turned into like a lot of people where if I drank
peer pressure is a bitch.
If I drank 100 proof, it was like, yeah, McKenna's a good 100. McKenna's good, but it's just not. It's not Old Carter. It's not this. It's not that.
That's one of the main culprits too to the fact that people are getting liver disease and problems is the fact that everybody's now is drinking a lot of cask strength and they're not watering it down and they're drinking it up and they're drinking heavy pours of it and neck pours of it and just gargling that shit. And again, I'm no judgment. You guys do what you want to do.
Yeah.
But eventually that shit gonna catch up to you. I know a lot of you are in your early 20s and shit like that, so you're not feeling it yet. But they've been saying it. There's been a lot of people now at ages of like late 30s that are getting like liver disease and shit like that they've never seen before. It's a lot of people that are just drinking way too much hard alcohol. It's not like beer, man. This stuff is tearing up your insides if you do it too much. You know?
Yeah, I mean, and myself, I kind of got away from beer only because of the fact that, I mean, I still drink it. I mean, I just finished a Franziskaner and freaking, I'm still looking at this freaking, this 32 of Pacifico that I had picked up. But, you know, shit, whatever, shit beer. But it's one of those things where it's like, I have some KBS in the refrigerator. I've always got something. That like I'll go to look at. There's this place out here called Girard's, where they sell a lot of wines, it's a grocery store, but they have like a high end wine, a high end liquor and beer thing there, a beer cave, and like I went and got like Lifted Kilt, some of these other beers you don't see anywhere. And I'm like, well, hey, I'll try this. I like a good freaking Scottish red. Smithwick's is one of my favorite. Just like freaking like everyday drinker beers. But so I started looking for red. So then they have these. It's like $15. You can get a six. You put together a 6-pack of these hard to find freaking beers. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I started doing that once every couple of weeks, and it's like, well, I found a lot of these other beers that I actually do like that I would not something I'm going to drink every day, but when I want a beer, cool, I can go do this. It's just that I don't like IPAs and stuff. So nobody
with actual taste buds likes IPA.
But what I've noticed is that everybody's got 11 different IPAs and like maybe one red or one blood orange.
Well, the reason why is IPAs. Okay, I work for a microbrewery, and I'm gonna tell you, IPAs are easy to make. All right, and you can always hide when it's kind of like a peated whiskey. If peated whiskey doesn't have to be the greatest whiskey because you hide the imperfections behind the peat. Same thing with heavily sherried whiskeys. You can hide the imperfections behind heavily sherried, not as much as peat. Peat is a lot easier to hide imperfections behind. That's why you can do really young peated whiskey, but you can't really do really young sherried whiskey because really young sherried whiskey, you notice the imperfections, you notice the wrongdoings behind it.
Oh, you
can still hide it. So wine casking, rum casking, all that shit is good to hide shit behind. And it's the same thing with IPA because IPA tastes like, armpits in the summertime. So it's really easy to hide how shitty and skunky a beer is by just saying it's an IPA. So,
they got like 11 freaking different terms for a shitty beer, like triple, double hazy, freaking Rickenbacker freaking IPAs. Like, what the fuck is that?
It's even worse than IPAs are the sours that are coming out now. Those things are just absolutely disgusting. I don't understand how people fucking drink that shit.
There was, you know what? I tried a sour. I can't remember what it was. Somebody gave me like it's one of those ones where it's one of those cans where the can's like freaking 20. It's a can. It's $20 fucking. And it's one of those ones where you just don't grab the can and start drinking. You kind of like pour it into a glass because it's so freaking thick and so like almost nasty. And they're like, hey, try this. And it was so disgusting. And I went out and actually got a a raspberry sour from this California brewery that's in Southern California. And actually, it wasn't really super sour. It was kind of like, if you get a raspberry that's not quite ripe, so you're used to that flavor. And it was really
like an unsweetened raspberry kind of thing.
And it was really, really good for someone who, if you're a person who likes sweet and sours type stuff in general, like food wise or whatever, or even wine wise.
Back in the day, we used to just call sours rattlers, which were just beers that had fruit juice infused into it. But it could be like anything else. Now they're just all called sour. So
yeah. And then my thing is that my favorite beers are like blood oranges, like wit. I like blood orange wits, and I like freaking, I like nut brown ales are freaking they're just good. There's no super bitterness to it. There's no super sweetness. No nothing. It's just a good freaking dark brown beer that's not freaking Guinness. Which I fucking hate.
I love stouts. Everyone knows I'm a massive stout fan. The Goose Island Bourbon County stuff is all right to me. I like a regular Irish dry stout. It's more my deal. Like it's always been the bourbon counties. They're good stuff. I'm not saying they're bad. I find that they're really overpriced for what they are. But bourbon aged barrel beer is pretty decent for the most part. But the Goose Island stuff I find kind of trends. I don't know if anybody else will agree with me. A little too much on the soy sauce kind of aftertaste notes on it that just kind of interfere with me and my beer. So I don't know. Yeah. I prefer just a traditional Irish stout, dry though. I don't. But I don't mind the flavored shit, but it's just they've kind of gone too crazy lately. It's almost like they're just taking Bosco or Hershey syrup and just squirting it directly into a beer now. So it's a little. Yeah. Yeah.
I blame a specific brand for that problem because it blew up for a very short period of time because all of a sudden they had these sours, these freaking. It was like 6 beers they put out, and everybody had to have them. And now they're kind of like pushed off to the side. It's a company called Clown Shoes here in California, or here in the States. They came out with like this when the movie It came out. They came with this whole freaking like It themed freaking thing where everything was like blood red, but it was a different like a sour or whatever. And everybody went and bought them and said, "Oh, how amazing they were!" And it's kind of like. What's funny to me is that you look at places that were huge in the craft beer industry in the States, and even in Canada or whatever, like Hangar 24, freaking what's it called? Stone Brewery, some of these other guys, and now those are bottom shelf craft beers.
Mm.
I mean, you can literally go in and go get. I can go get Arrogant Bastard 6-pack for freaking $8.
So many micros have become macros, and you can even say the same thing with whiskey distilleries. When we're talking about bourbon or scotch or anything, so many artisan distilleries are now becoming macro, larger distilleries. Just because everybody wanting to try the newest flavor of the month, and declaring them king because they're just different. So I don't know. To me, that I got kind of out of the whiskey game a little bit, not just because of health reasons, but a lot of it was because of lack of quality and too much quantity. And I just found that everything they were going too far out of the box with certain things. A lot of beer barrel distilling, a lot of tequila, mezcal. Way too much rum usage. I don't know. To me, I got bored of it, and it was just like I just prefer the traditional kind of casking, and just leave it as is, and let the spirit speak for itself, instead of we're aging it in this kind of a barrel or that kind of a barrel. We're triple charring it. We're now doing it tequila casking, and it's like. Well, I want to drink whiskey. You know, I don't feel like drinking tequila. I don't feel like drinking rum. If I want to have rum, I'll have rum. You know, I don't. But whatever.
But
I
yeah,
understand it's kind of like jumping the shark, and we got to keep trying to make something different and new. But to me, you know, bourbon, scotch, rye, let it speak for itself. Let the spirit lend itself out there.
well,
And uh,
like you were saying, but my thing is that there's nothing. I don't find anything wrong with like doing a sherry cask or something like that. My thing is that then everybody jumps on it, and then that's all you see. You don't see like original expressions anymore. Now you see sherry cask, Pedro Jimenez, all this other stuff, right? So nothing is unique. When it comes to finishes now, nothing is unique. When Bell Mead came out with sherry, the Pedro Jimenez, and the honey and all this other stuff, that was before all this big, humongous finishing stuff. So that Pedro Jimenez freaking Bell Mead was freaking awesome because it was something that was different and unique. But
yeah.
then now it's not unique anymore to have these finishes, and
All
now
right,
they've
well,
gone to this thing of finishing in
I'll be right
beer
back. One
barrels.
second.
What's that? I'm sorry. And so, okay, Amy, let's see who else is jumping. Big Vic, what's up, Big Vic? Go ahead and if you want to jump on, the link's at the top. So,
I'm gonna be taking off in a bit. My wife wants to talk and chat, so I'm gonna go. All right. But it was
hey,
really
you know
cool
what?
seeing you. It was really good seeing you, Stan. And cheers to everybody. And so
Yeah, I'm gonna be a little bit more. I'm gonna be a little bit more in the live thing over on Instagram. So if you ever want to jump on with me over there, definitely hit me up.
It's the last social media thing I still have is the Instagram. That's it.
Okay. So yeah, so I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you. And you know, you've got my email, I think.
Yeah.
So
Take it easy, Stan.
hit me up. Talk to you
All
later,
right,
bud.
Later.
Bye. All right. So that was cool for me to get, to talk to Swami and stuff. I haven't talked to him in a really long time, and I know individuals that don't particularly get along with him, and I understand that they decided not to be so vocal in the chat while I was on. I appreciate the fact that I didn't see any derogatory statements per se. So, but, and just know, and those people who know who they are, I love you guys. I love each and every one of you. And I try not to judge anybody on one mistake that they made, because I've made plenty and you've all forgiven me. So as we move on, excuse me for that burp. I've noticed that when Swami was on, we were talking about beers. I'm sorry, this is a whiskey channel, but I noticed that a lot of people start talking about Amy Bohm, and I didn't know that there was a Bohm brewery. I am not a fan of IPAs, but I would still, if something was hand delivered to my residence, I would try it, because I do know that at points in time there are certain IPAs that aren't as harsh as others. But and it's good to see One Mo Cast and Ben Demon Hunter. And If I Missed You, Big League Bourbon. Yeah, I like that. Beer barrels. Who would do that? Blasphemy. I don't know. I've heard that some there's this place that did a couple bottles in KBBS barrels, and but I'm not going to drop any names, but it rhymes with Storytime Distillery. So and if you're not okay, excuse me, I got food in my mouth, but I'll try not to chew while I'm saying this. If you are not following Big League Bourbon, if you're not following freaking good night, Swami, 2 wheels down. If you're not following Samurai, if you're not following Bourbon, if you're not following the man that's going to follow me, Chicharlino on Whiskey Encore, what the hell's wrong with you? Get over there, hit that freaking subscribe. Make sure that when you interact with the video at all, like and comment, subscribe, that you go ahead and put a comment down, because it does help out with the algorithm, the all-powerful algorithm. Um, you know what? So I did mod 2 people tonight, and it was literally because they were the very first 2 people to jump in the chat before I even went live. So congratulations to Sherry G, and congratulations to Low Wonder 360 for being mods now. But there is one that I definitely needed to add that I didn't know that wasn't a moderator by now. But yeah, post something else, Amy. It should be fixed. Big League Bourbon is he's been a mod since day one. If there's anybody else that truly wants to be a mod, even if it's just to have the blue wrench, don't think you're safe, because I'm sure Amy and Cheech and Chris Luddig, they're going to be all over you, even if you have a blue wrench, and they're going to let me know if you step out of line, and I will. I have no problem taking it away from somebody or giving it to people who deserve it. So anybody else that wants to be a wrench, don't go ahead and ask. I'm not going to tell you no just because or whatever. But so Amy should be a wrench now. It's good to see some people that there's people old school guys from when I used to do streams, Z-Man and Amy, and the standard, the Amy, the Luddigs, the Ben Demon Hunter, and One Mo Cast came in on the probably like middle to back end of when I was doing lives. Neophyte, good friend of mine and stuff like that. It's good to see him. Big Vic is newer to the community, so I don't think he might have been in the what do you call it? The background on any of my other lives that I did, or he just might be new. But Big Vic, if you're working, oh yeah, okay. I finally got that. It said send it. I'm like, send what? Okay, Big Vic, you're now a moderator too. So yeah, anybody else that wants to do it, I don't have a problem with that. I think I'm going to try to keep it to the general. Okay, Z-Man. Whoop. It's not right. I mean, I don't want to do what everybody else has done and wrench everybody, because then then nobody can time out anybody. Because I feel bad, like last night on Bourbon stream, Tim Evans made a mistake and kind of like what I call butt band, I guess you would say it, or whatever. Dropped his phone and it hit somebody with 300 seconds. And it eliminated a bunch of it stopped a bunch of his messages, and all they were about messages about Mike Stahl sharpening knives. I'm like, damn, Tim Evans really does not want this guy to get Mike Stahl to sharpen his knives. He's like, he wants the exclusive freaking road to Mike Stahl's sharpening knives. But then it was explained later that he had dropped his phone and accidentally had put a 300-second ban on the guy. That was kind of actually funny as hell. But it's to me, truthfully, thank you to the 22 people that are here. I love each and every one of you. It's been a long time since I've been live hosting anything. I don't know how long I've actually. Okay, I'm sorry. I had because it's up in the top corner. I've been going an hour and 4 minutes. It's presently 8:07 here in Southern California. Amy Bohm's in at 11 o'clock, 11:07. Thank you for being here that late. You know what? Truthfully, the quote unquote newest job is getting better. We're getting. Everybody knows that I started out in the week I started. Within 2 weeks of starting out, the other two mechanics in a large plant decided they were going to go ahead and go their own way. And so I worked by myself for a few months. It was very, very stressful. And if most of people in Whiskey Tube and most of the people that are closer friends of mine know my battles with anxiety and depression, it was kind of hard. But those people, Cheech, Artolino, Amy, and a lot of the people encouraged me while I was at one point in time away from YouTube and stuff, trying to get all that straightened out. It got better. Got a second tech to come in. That got way better. And then now in the last 2 weeks, they finally brought in the third mechanic, and a little wet behind. I say a little wet behind the ears. A kind of different industry. So teaching him some stuff. It's actually kind of interesting to be able to teach somebody else what I've taught myself in the last 6 months. But it's good. It's getting better. It allowed me now with 3 technicians to not have to work today. So I actually got to drink last night for more than one or two pours. I got to stay up and hang out until 2 or so in the morning on the Bourbon with Bourbon and them guys. So been a good weekend, and the work's getting better. And I was by myself the first quarter and ended up taking them from 65% time on production to 84%. This quarter, with me and with 2 of us, we got them up to 89%. So since I started, that's 2 bonuses in a row that I've actually gotten. So it's not much. It's a few $100s, but it's more of, I feel good about the fact that I've taken a plant that was barely running to a plant that is running well enough to where they run out of work consistently, because it's just more of a personnel getting stuff done more than the machines being down. So I accomplished something I can be proud of. So, and it's hard for me to do that because I'm always in the what if mode in my mind. But yesterday it was told to me that I need to be proud of what I've accomplished in a short period of time that nobody else accomplished in the last like 5 or 6 years, since they had the last really good amount of production going on. And to do most of it by myself, that was another thing that they said you should be proud of. So it's good. So thank you for asking about that, Amy. Some people know the story, some people don't. But I appreciate you, love you to death. Someday I can't wait to meet you and hang out, do a little drinking, hang out in your, maybe hang out in the old Stilt House there in South. Was it South? What? Keep on getting mixed up. It's either North or South Carolina, but I know it's near the water. But all right, so Big Vic question: why are you not on this screen? Why are you not live with me right now? Are you working? Because if you're working, you get a pass. Anthony, I know why you're not on there. Obviously your internet took a shit because you just disappeared right in the middle of a sentence. And I understand that. So I'm not asking you to come back if you can't. Love to see Lilith and Chris, but Lilith actually might be at work chilling. Okay, so Anthony's back. I see the chilling thing, and I was like, as soon as I saw it the first time, I was like, why is that gonna? It's got to be Anthony, and then Frank is Anthony again. So
yeah, I'm back until it pops out again. I can tell when the audio starts to crackle.
Yeah.
And then it's, for some reason, that's like a telltale sign that it's about to go. Don't ask me why, but it does. So now I plug the charger in, so power won't be an issue, and we'll see how long this one will last. But anyway, I switched to a rye, and man,
what do you have? Which
proof.
one?
I've been very happy with it. It's one by Total Wine. It's the Russian River Rye. It's one of their brands, and it's made by Redwood Empire for them.
I'm trying to...
It's good, and I actually picked up a backup a while ago, but batch 1, because that was the first one I tried, and I just got lucky and found another batch 1 a few months back, so I added it, and it, $32, $35. I forget what it is. I think it's 35.
It's 35.
It's good. It's just a good sipper, and I've said that before on the stream, and I'm just happy with it.
Which one is that? Is that Gray's or is that Triple R?
Triple R.
Okay.
Gray's is the American whiskey, if I remember correctly.
Okay. I'll remember the next time, because I was kind of like hesitant about the fact that it was I kind of stay away. Look, nothing against Total Wine, but I kind of stay away from their when they put somebody's picture on something recommending something, because
Yeah.
obviously, and then people what people don't realize is that, and please don't use this to your advantage, or don't be a dick in a store. But a lot of those people that get hired on by Total Wine, they actually are going through school consistently all the time. Like they have to, like they'll do 4 days of work and then they'll spend a whole day just doing nothing but doing online and in-person classes for the area they work in. Plus, they have to become, they don't have to become wine sommeliers, but they do have to complete Total Wine's like stewardship.
Yep.
To where they have a specific, so that they can actually give notes and do wine tastings. That's their main thing that they have to do at Total Wine. Outside of that, when they get put into the beers or the whiskeys or whatever, they're consistently having to go to school while getting paid. Like they don't get paid a whole lot, but they get paid okay for what they do. So some of those guys, some of those people that aren't necessarily into whiskeys that they have in that area, and you see their picture there, if you see them in the store, ask them about it. And they're very honest about the fact that they're new to whiskey, but they found that this whiskey was something they really liked from because they have to do blind flights. They literally do blind flights like once a week of different stuff. So they're learning consistently all the time so they can actually be informative.
I found a guy at mine who has an excellent palate for bourbon. And he drinks it regularly, but he pretty much told me what you did. And then there's another guy used to work there. He went to liquor lineup. So I kind of pretty much stay with those two because their palates are good. They both know what I like, what I don't like. And what's nice is sometimes I could walk into either one of those stores and stuff's not even on the shelf and they see me. Next thing you know, they're whispering in my ear, telling me what it is. And they go, I can bring one out. And I go, yes, please. And it's not even on the shelf. And they put it in my hand and I walk out with it. So there's some really good people. And then there are some, just like you said, they're new to either wine or they're new to bourbon or they're new to whiskey or cognacs or whatever. And they're starting to sample it because they do the tastings. Oh, yeah, this tastes good. Yeah. And, they do get a nice discount on a bottle. So they might take one and go, yeah, and you're right. Their picture goes on it. And they're not lying. They like it. But unless they are somebody that has a developed palate for the particular spirit or wine, yeah, they're not knowledgeable. But the two that I have or that I know, oh my gosh, they'll just dazzle you with stuff. I mean, they just know. And they actually hunt. They'll go to other states. They go to California. They give me the 411 on different things that they found or what's there. Arizona, even down where Eric is there in New Mexico, when they get some time off, they'll take a few days and just do a road trip and look for bourbon as they go through the different states, California, Nevada, Arizona, and then they'll even go all the way down to New Mexico and then do a power drive back up into somewhere close to home before they spend the night. But it's good to know these people and it's good to have a relationship. I mean, I don't ask them to do me favors or anything like that, but they know my face, they know my palate, and when certain things come in, if I'm there at the right time, and it's all luck. Hey, do you want this or do you want that? I just happened to see a case of it came in. Okay, yeah. Hey, luck is half the battle with hunting. So.
Yeah. So real quick, Bourbon Baller, welcome. Also, I need to welcome. Don't hit him up too bad. My brother, Martin Wagner. He's not my baby brother, my next baby brother, but him and my baby brother John are like two of my best friends. And but he's also like me, anti-Dodger. Sorry, Bourbon Beginnings. I hate the Dodgers with the passion. I'm a Padres and an Angels fan. My brother's an Angels fan, so we do not like the Dodgers. And he wanted to make sure that I knew that the Braves won Game 1. So, but thank you, Marty. And if you're still in here, appreciate the fact that you decided to jump on. He's just got home with from taking his kids to choir practice at church. So to take some time out to just say something is really a lot. Let's see. Yeah, Bourbon Baller, the Total Wine staff in general are rookies, but some of them you can tell when they're talking to you that they really want to learn. I've actually had them reach out to me, like I'll come through the door and they'll know that I'm the guy that likes to go hang out in the whole whiskey section and ask questions and stuff. And just I'm always there helping people. Like people will ask me, like, "Have you ever tried this?" And then I'll tell them, ask them what they normally drink. And for some reason, I'm doing the job of the total wine person, but I'm doing it for myself because I'm learning from them while they're trying to learn from me. And I actually have had some people, I've given my mash bill email address to them at Total Wine after I've given them suggestions. Say, hey, please tell me if I was right by suggesting this for you. If not, I apologize. And I told them, I said, if you really, really do not like this, I will make up for it. And I've had like 3 or 4 of them email me back and say, thank you for recommending this. It was freaking perfect. It was exactly what I was looking for. So I'm getting better at that. And I'm not trying to sell anything for Total Wine or anything like that. It's more of my education. But I'd say give some of the Total Wine guys a break, especially if you see that they have some sort of interest or passion in trying to learn something. If they kind of blow you off and just kind of like throw you towards one of the Total Wine selections, then understandable. But there are some guys there that are really, they're bourbon heads or they're Scotch heads or whatever, and they really have some super great information. Now, Bevmo, not so much. I'm sorry, Bevmo, but definitely today, well, not today, it was 2 days ago, I got offered a job at Bevmo. They said, how much are you making now? I told them how much. They said, okay, we can't pay you that. But I was wondering why. And he's like, well, because the guy was trying to sell this guy Lagavulin 16. He's like, oh yeah, it's a little smoky. And I started laughing. I was down like looking at Irishes and I started laughing my ass off. And the guy that was trying to sell it said, what, sir, can I help you? I was like, no, I'm fine. He goes, well, I just saw you laughing, or he thought maybe I was talking to somebody on the phone. I said, no, I'm laughing at the fact that you said Lagavulin was a little smoky. And he's like, what do you mean? I said, well, I asked the guy, I said, what are you actually looking for? He goes, well, I've tried a few scotches and I've had Lafroig 10 and some, he mentioned a couple that, and he goes, he kind of liked that Isla, the Isla stuff, the smoky stuff. But Lafroig 10 is drastically less smoky than Lagavulin, and way on the other end of barbecue from Ardbeg. So this guy not saying, hey, why don't I go ahead and push you to you've had Lafroig 10, maybe you would consider a Lafroig, one of the Lafroig, the finished Lafroigs or something like that. No, he went straight to Lagavulin because, and I know what he's doing. I mean, the Lagavulin's $119. The most expensive Lafroig they have there is $69 at the time. And I'm like sitting there going, well, you can try a 10 Ardbeg if you really want to go to the next level of freaking smoke on a barbecue side. I said, and I suggest that he go with a Highland Park. If he's going to drop $119, look at a Highland Park 18. Pay the little bit extra because you're going to get some smoke to it, to the flavor, but not overbearing like a Lagavulin where you're literally freaking chewing on smoke tablets going to a Lagavulin 16 from a Lafroig 10. It's like a drastic difference. If you're going to work your way up, move to like a Highland Park 18 or move to even a lower a Lagavulin 8 or something like that. Don't go professional when you're still working in the amateur ranks. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I mean, I tried the Ardbeg, the pirate one, and the only thing I got off that was iodine and Band-Aids for like 20 minutes. And
Oh
it wasn't
my!
until about the third sip that I actually got some of the sweetness at the beginning, but then that iodine and Band-Aid just rolled on in. I had to set it down, and I said, "Yeah, no." I said,
So
"But
hold
yes."
on one second.
But
I've never seen him in a chat. I mean, never seen him on a live, but he probably has been. But he's always in the chat. First time on my obviously live with me. Let's bring on Z-Man.
oh,
What's up? How you doing, buddy?
what's up, Z-Man?
He might not hear us.
He might not. He knows something's going on.
Yeah, I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yep.
We can
Can
hear
you
you,
hear
but there
us?
might be some
Can
delay
you
or
hear
something
me?
going on. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us? There you go.
Can you hear me now?
There we go.
There we go. That's it.
We good now?
Delay will be my issue, I guess.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. We'll work through it.
I can definitely hear you.
Okay.
Perfect.
So let's see.
I think so.
Yeah, so we're going to be working with the delay, but thank you very much for joining us. This is the first time I've seen you on a live. That's really cool. I don't know if you've been on somebody else's. You might have been on Live Wire or somebody else, but I hadn't seen it yet. Oh, man. So let's see. What do you drink? By the way, you're drinking that Russian River, that Triple R.
Yes,
What else you got out there with you, Anthony?
Smoke Wagon, Uncut Unfiltered, Smoke
No,
Wagon.
not been on anybody's live.
Wow, there's a long delay, huh? So let's see. Smoke Wagon, Uncut Unfiltered. I think I have a bottle I haven't opened yet because I think I gave the rest to my cousin of my last bottle because he wanted to try it. So let me go grab the other new bottle I got.
I'm not quite sure how to fix that.
So in about 2 minutes when you get this, Z-Man, it's just something you end up working through. It could be internet, it could be a bunch of different things. Yeah, so I don't think I have a thing that can change. Yeah, StreamYard doesn't give us the OBS stuff where we can do offsets and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah,
If he's on StreamYard and he's watching it, you see it almost in real time. If he's watching it through YouTube, it's about a 10-second delay. So if you turn off YouTube and just continue to watch the StreamYard, then it's more accurate with maybe a second delay to just depending upon your location.
yeah. If you got that, Z-Man, try that one. Let's see. Emily Chambers, yeah, I probably do need Mashbill business cards. My other one, I did have business cards, but it's for Stan Wagner Media, which was something I was working on before the pandemic, where I was, when I lost my job, I was going to go ahead and go into doing videos and stuff for bands. But then the pandemic changed that. So, yeah, I definitely need some Mashbill cards so I can hand out to people. Before the pandemic, where I was, when I lost my job, I was going to go ahead and go into doing videos. Say, Lone Wanderer, aren't you Central or Northern California, something like that? Don't you drive 40 minutes to go to any liquor store? Because let's see. Yeah, that's who's missing. I'm trying to figure out who is missing. Richie Z's missing, and so's Bubble Bath Bourbon, but I'm not sure if Bubble Bath's in Texas or not. I know Richie's not, but we'll see. One Mo Cast about to crack that Weller 107, followed up with a Maker's Mark FAE 01. Yeah, I don't have either one of those. One Mo Cast. Weller 107 is anywhere from $200 to $300 here in Southern California.
Let me see if I can fix it real quick.
Okay.
I've got the antique, but I haven't cracked it.
Oh, so you do have a 107.
Yeah.
I've got special reserves, but I've never. I don't know what the hype is over the Weller. Like people, like I don't know how people can justify. I mean, you're gonna pay for what you want to get. If you've never had it before, you might pay a little extra. But people who are paying more than like, I'll say $40.
I'll come back in a minute.
Okay. Possibly $50 max for a special reserve 750 are literally out of their minds.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's not that great. 107 is probably the.
I'll come back in a minute.
Okay, Z-Man. So Weller-wise, I've tasted a 12-year, but it wasn't a store pick. I tasted a 107, and I've tasted the special reserve. And to me, the 107 is the best of the three, just a regular standard bottle. But then again, I've never had a 12-year or a full-proof store pick. So that might change my mind. But I don't see paying as much as people pay for those things. It's like way too. It's when people say, "Well, but you paid $189 for a old Carter." Yeah, because it's damn freaking good. Number one, and I knew going into it that that's what I was going to pay because that's the retail price for an old Carter.
Yeah.
So it's like I made that choice at the point in time. I just didn't understand the whole Weller thing where it's being sold in general in places where it's state controlled for less than $70 for everyone in the lineup. And you might pay $99 in certain states for a CYPB. But then I'm going to pay $600 for a CYPB? No. If I'm going to drop $600 on a bottle, number one, it better be the best whiskey I've ever tasted in my entire life. It needs to be signed, like literally signed by friggin' either the Carters, if that's it, or the Russells, if that's it, whatever the situation is, a signed bottle, and literally has to be the best thing. And then there's no way, it's like the last bottle ever signed with a certificate by Jimmy Russell or something before he moved on to not doing anything, moved on, whatever that situation is. I'd consider it, but no, I'm not paying that much money for a freaking Weller 107. I'm not paying $300 for a Weller 107. So okay, so I lost. So Z-Man's redoing it, going. Let's go ahead and draw it. Okay, wait until Anthony Melt. He goes back. There you go. Okay, I wasn't sure if you were going to make it back or not because I was talking and you didn't say nothing, and I was like, okay.
Yeah,
what's going on?
It was crackling, and I thought I was going to drop two, but came through.
Well, yeah. Let's see. Since I've already got this open and it's right here, and I'm lazy, I'll just have a regular old everyday freaking. I mean, the truth is, this is actually my favorite smoke wagon. Is just the regular old
92 proof. 90
proof straight. I mean, it's good. It's sarsaparilla. I mean, to me, it's sarsaparilla all day long. And if you're a hardcore, what is called root beer fan, like I am, I can't drink it because of the high sugar content. But every once in a while, I like to go to a place like in Nevada. People don't realize that if you go to Virginia City, you can get a real sarsaparilla.
Yes, you can.
Because, okay, I don't know if you've ever been to Virginia City, but anybody that's old enough, like myself, probably Anthony, maybe I'm not calling you old before I say it, but Amy is might have when she was like 3 or 4 seen the Bonanza or Bonanza the TV show. They went to Virginia City all the time, and you saw this Virginia City set. It wasn't a set; it was Virginia City, but they had a set made up exactly like it in the mountains near Lake Tahoe on the Nevada side. So, like the house, the bunkhouse, the farm, and a lot of the places where they shot building shots, there's actually a ranch as you come out of Lake Tahoe going down to Reno, or you're coming down the 50 down to the 395. That is the ranch that it's shot on. And I always loved it. And my son lived up there. So I went to Virginia City and didn't realize that. Did you know that in the 1800s, everybody was a midget? Or I'm sorry, a little person, Adriana size, because I would walk into these buildings up the staircases and I'd have to turn sideways because my shoulders were too wide. And then I'd have to duck down almost into a cross position to go up because the ceilings were so low. And we went to the bar, and I was like, I wonder if they make real sarsaparilla. And they're like, yes, we still have it made. And it was like the most glorious one of the most glorious things I ever had is, because I don't drink it. It's really hard to come by a real sarsaparilla. There's a lot of things that are called. You can go to especially places to say that sarsaparilla. But if you've ever had a real sarsaparilla, straight from the root freaking sarsaparilla, it's freaking amazing.
It's really different.
Yeah. So if you are ever in Carson City, the Carson City, Nevada area, go to Silver City or go to Virginia City. Those two places are really, really cool places to go check out and realize that those are buildings and places that you've seen before in your life on television. And to go in and see that they still have, they're still preserving like the country store and stuff like that in Virginia City is really cool.
Exactly.
And that's one thing I do got to give up to Nevada is that they've done a lot to preserve a lot of the history of the state of Nevada when it came to the silver rush. Carson City has a bunch of stuff there. Virginia City, Silver City, out there on the way out to Round Mound, Reno. A lot of those places that are in the Silver Rush area have done a lot to maintain the buildings and the history and the railroad. Nevada is one of the greatest freaking states that in the states that do railroad restoration for steam trains and stuff, and it's freaking awesome. It's like Colorado's is probably the number one, but Nevada is really, really close to being number one.
About Carson City, Virginia City. So before silver became the rush here, they had this rock that they were throwing out of the mine, so they decided to line the streets with it. It was a good material and it made a nice solid street. Then they realized they were throwing the silver out and then dug up the streets to get the silver back. And then that's when they realized, hey, this is worth something. Full trivia, true story, that it was passed down to me. And I'm like, really? I always thought they knew what silver was or recognized that ore, but they didn't at first.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying is like Nevada has kind of, whenever I go there, especially like the Reno area, there's a lot of nostalgia that people don't know about. There's a lot of cowboy lore that people thought was like Texas, Arizona type freaking lore that's actually Nevada. Some of the first African American cowboys were actually from Nevada that became notorious for being bank robbers or being cattle punchers or whatever. Came from Nevada, from the Carson Reno area. But it's like there's a lot of history there, and like I said, every time I freaking have Smoke Wagon, I know it's in Vegas, but every time I have the straight bourbon, the 92 proof, I just get this back of my palate hit of that sarsaparilla from freaking Virginia City.
That was my first pour tonight. I mean, it's just a good pour every time, and at $30 to $35 a bottle here, it could be a daily sipper. It definitely well could be.
And I don't.
You can't go wrong with it.
People hate it when you use this word, but I have to say that this Smoke Wagon 92 straight bourbon whiskey is some of the smoothest. And I'm talking about there's no back end bite. There's nothing that makes you can sip it and it's great. It's phenomenal. But if you just want to knock out a 1 ounce shot, you're not having to catch your breath. You just got the flavor faster.
Yep.
It's not, you can't say the same even for Repeal 5. Repeal 5, it's a good, I'm becoming more, I'm liking it more and more as I get farther down the bottle and I let it sit for a few days and everything else. But it's something that I can sip and I enjoy. But last night I had like an ounce left at the very end of the Bear Bend stream, and I shot it, and it felt like it shot right through the back of my throat and out the back of my head. And it's 100 proof, but the thing is, it just has that little tiny, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Astringent.
Yep.
Slight, like very, very light astringent, but shooting it amplified it by 100, and I almost choked and almost like started coughing and felt like for a second there I lost my breath.
Oh yeah.
But this smoke, you know what? I don't usually take more than one pour of one bottle during a stream, but that was freaking good. That was good. I think I'll have another one.
Like I said, it's a delicious pour. So's the small batch, and if you want to jump it up a notch to like 116 proof, then go with the uncut unfiltered, because it's just a caramel butterscotchy bomb to me when I drink it. And I'm just now finishing up a bottle of batch 29 from December of last year.
Yeah, luckily for me, I got on the Smoke Wagon bandwagon, whatever you call it, real freaking early. When it first started, like literally almost 2 years ago, when it first started blowing up. So I bought like 3 bottles of each. I bought 3 bottles of straight. I bought 3 bottles of small batch and 3 bottles of uncut unfiltered. Pre-sticker.
Yep.
So I don't know. So unless I do the investigation into the bottle number, I'll never know what batch it was. I don't care. I just know that it's pre-batch 29 or pre-batch 19. I'm sorry. I think it is. I know it's less than 25, but I can't remember what the last batch was before the first sticker. I think the first sticker batch was 29, but I'm not sure. If anybody in the chat knows what the first sticker batch was, then I think I got 3 bottles from the 3 batches before. But because of my extensive collection that I've put together, I don't really get to it a whole lot in case I really seek it out to go, I feel like Smoke Wagon today.
Yep.
So I'm down to my last bottle of this. I think I have 2 bottles small batch and 1 bottle uncut left. And like I said, I've given some to people and stuff like that. But if somebody said you could only pick one and you could get 6 bottles of it right now,
you're going for the straight.
I'm going to go with the straight because I enjoy it the most of the 3 I've had so far.
That's exactly what it comes down to. What do you like? You like that? Then that's what you got.
And it's not even the proof. It's not even the proof. There's a take. there is a certain taste or a certain
Yep.
thing that hits my palate with that freaking $35 bottle compared to that $90 bottle or
Exactly.
more bottle that just tells me, hey,
Yep.
this is your thing. So
Yep. Nope, you're right. You're absolutely correct.
drying on the throat sucks. FA2 is really good. Reviewed it in our stream last Tuesday against 01. Okay, so please forgive me, 21090. I've been out. I kind of been out of the game, and then when back in the game, I've been concentrating on specific channels, blah blah, everything else, and I'm trying to get back to my origins of shouting out channels. Please, 21090, if you do have a channel, here I'm going to go ahead and make it easy for you. You are now a moderator, so go ahead and promote your channel. I will follow it. I will, and if you're somebody I already know, you just have a different name in this chat, I'll be embarrassed. But either way, anybody that has a channel, please just tell me that you have a channel. I'll moderate you, or if Amy, Lone Wanderer, or anybody that is a moderator knows that person, knows their channel, treat Chardolino it. Freaking spam that shit like it's going out of style. We got people deserve to be seen. People deserve to have their opinions known, because my opinion of something, like, luckily my opinion of Smoke Wagon Straight is pretty much along the lines of a lot of people's opinion. But there's people out there that have certain palettes that we follow. Myself personally, I'm really in tune with more of the HBR. Sometimes Scott from My Bourbon Journey, some of his off profile stuff that he likes to do, his weird stuff, I kind of line up with it when I get those bottles and I taste them. I'm like, oh, now I see what Scott's going at. Okay, cool. Thank you, Amy Bone. 21090 Brewing. Okay, cool. So,
Hey, Stan, I'm going to pop off. I'm starting to crackle, and I'm going to cut off here in a minute. But anyway, hey, nice talking to you. I'll be lurking in the chat. But
okay.
Have a good night, everyone.
All right, and thank you for jumping on. For some reason nobody else wanted to jump on, but it's understandable. I haven't been on in a long time, and I understand that people might not want to jump on with me, so it's understandable. I mean, if Amy Bone's not doing anything and she feels like she has actual camera set up, she could jump on with me. But
all right, bud. Well, have a good night. Like I said, I'll be lurking around the chat.
Yeah, and make sure that once you're all set back up to start doing a live, that you hit me up on Instagram or whatever, and make sure I get a notice ahead of time. Because
Yep.
All right.
All right. Talk to you, man.
Love you, brother. Talk to you later.
Yep.
Bye. It was good talking to Anthony. He's been in and out of a lot of lives and stuff over the last now it looks like seems like almost 2 months since the flood. Oh, now he decides to come in.
I got kids, bro.
I know, bro. I wasn't sure if you were working tonight or not, but
no.
This is now, I guess I can officially say that between him and Joe, these are my brothers from another mother. Freaking the XL Cali crew.
Yeah.
Freaking.
Yeah, I was about to. I wanted to jump on before Anthony jumped off.
Well,
this thing takes forever.
Yeah, but it's a good. Truthfully, it's a good thing that it's good to see Anthony on for more than like 2 or 3 minutes, because like he's had so many issues at the house with the internet and stuff ever since all that other stuff happened. And
yeah,
it's good to see that he's getting close to being able to go live again. That's what I'm happy about. But so tomorrow you're going over to drop off some stuff to Joe. What time are you planning on doing that?
I was until he told me that he might come to my pad. I'm like, okay. But
Okay.
because I asked him like, what time you want me to drop it off? Because he's up right now. He's up in a concert in Fresno.
Because the thing is, okay, so for those who don't know, I mean, everybody knows who probably knows who Independent Joe is, but for those who don't know Independent Joe, he has a son that's it's his son, I believe, right?
Yeah.
That's up in Central Valley.
Mm-hmm.
So when his son wants to go to a concert, he doesn't say, "Hey, I'm going to call my friends." He calls Joe, and Joe drives 4.5 hours, 5 hours to Fresno to go to concerts with his son. And usually it's because it's also bands that he particularly likes a lot. So, except for maybe what was the last one he said? What was the last one you went to that he didn't like? Maroon 5 or something like that, wasn't it?
No, that was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
He just went down to Rolling Stones. Something with the Rolling Stones, I think. He went to go see down in I think SoFi or something like that. And then right now he went to go see Korn.
Oh, freaking! I'm a Korn fan. I love freaking Korn. I've seen them like 3 or 4 times. I mean, there's other bands I've seen more, but Korn's one of those bands that no matter what, they never disappoint. They just always put on a good show.
So I got this one for you.
What?
Costco.
Oh, you picked it up today?
Yeah. Guess how much?
It's I want to say it's 45. It was 35. Cool.
It was 70 allegedly.
Oh no, I mean it varies in price, especially like a Bevmo and stuff. It's usually up in that 60 plus, right around there.
Right.
I don't think I have a that was a Glenlivet, right? I don't think I have a Glenlivet 14 yet. That's the bourbon cask or the sherry cask?
This is a cognac.
Oh, that's a cognac one. Okay. I'm trying to think because I get it mixed up with like you got Glenfiddich, Glen Grant, you got Glen everything. So I try to figure out because the age statements are almost identical. Like it's 12, 14, 18,
12, 14,
21, and 27. But the cask finishes different between like Glenfiddich 12 is just Glenfiddich 12. Then 14 is bourbon cask. 18 is Pedro Jimenez, I think, or
Sherry.
something like that. Yeah, sherry cask. So it like jumps all over the place. And then Glenlivet is slightly different because Glenlivet also has a non-age stated Caribbean cask, and there's a whole. But it's good to see that somebody else is buying some more scotches besides myself.
I'm gonna try it. I've never had it.
Well, I mean, what other scotches do you have though?
Jason recommended me to start with the Balvenie 12. That was not my cup of tea.
Okay, so try the next time you're at Costco, if they have it. Balvenie 14 should be the rum cask. I believe.
Yeah, they have the 14 there.
So if you feel more towards a little bit more sweetness and getting away, because people don't realize that just because it says bourbon,
the nose, I smell like tequila off of it.
And that's okay. I understand that. And are you talking about you smell old school tequila like Garbage Agave Jose Cuervo or Terramana Pineapple Agave?
No, like Cuervo shit. Yeah. And with the bourbon ranch, the bourbon ranch, I won that bottle that Tears of Llorona, and I got the same smell, and I thought it was a tequila, but it was actually I think that one is aged in Scotch barrels, so it's like stronger and shit.
And you're not a tequila guy.
I retired that shit.
You retired that shit
Years
when you became an
ago.
adult. When you became an adult.
Hello, when I hit like maybe 30.
I'm just saying. Well, okay, so.
But
it's
yeah,
like
I used to drink tequila a lot, but not no more. I can't even.
it's okay. So most people like say I'm 52.
Right.
You're in your early 40s, right?
44.
Okay, so still early to mid 40s. We had our heydays during our 20s where we partied, did some things that we're not too proud of. And so I've always, like, people say, well, you become an adult when you're 18.
Yeah,
No,
I got married at 20, bro.
Yeah. I believe that the God's honest truth is that you don't really become an adult till you're 30, because that's when you realize that's when you make the choice of partying over making it to 90. So once you've made that choice, then you've become a man, or you've become an adult per se. Women, that's when you become adult. When you finally make the decision that, okay, I'm not going to quit partying, but I'm not going to do it all the time. I'm going to focus on the fact that I want to live to be 100, or I want to live to where my kids are so tired of me being around that they want me to kick the bucket, because then that means that I've lived a complete life. So
At 30, I became a biker, bro. And I partied.
Okay, well, some people
I
is
was
different,
backwards.
but now though, right? You have a really good relationship with your kids. You have a job that I don't know if you like, but
I love.
But you get to you're basically your own boss. Yeah, you have somebody that's your boss, but you do what you do, and as long as at the end of the day you've completed their list of things that need to get done, however you went about doing it in your own way,
exactly,
then you're good. So
I'm good. Yeah.
At a certain level, you're kind of being your own boss. Somebody else might do what you do a different way to accomplish the same thing, but you're doing it where you're comfortable. The way you're doing it is the way you want to do it, and you're still achieving the same results. So you're happy with your job. Your family life is good. You've been through. I've never gotten the whole story. Someday we'll sit down and we'll get the whole story. But you've gone through some shit over your 44 years of life. But right now it seems like, from me talking to you and me seeing you on live streams and everything else, that you're in probably one of the best places that you've ever been in your life.
Yeah.
And that you're happy with you're happy with everything, and you've made. I mean, I've only known you for a few months since you've been jumping on live. I've never knew if you were like really like lurking in the back or whatever, but I've known you from the lives over the past few months, and like you've struck up real friendships that for some reason it seems like you and Joe are like kindred spirits. Like freaking you guys.
Yeah.
Like there's something between you that I know, no matter what I try with you or Joe, I'm never going to have that exact bond for some reason that you two have. You guys just seem to be like Mutt. I call some like Mutt and Jeff, or whatever you want to call them, freaking Abbott and Costello or whatever. You guys kind of like, you're funny and you're funny. You like to laugh and everything else, but you're very Vic. Joe is a person who seems to act like he's quiet as hell, but I know secretly he's one of the biggest smartasses walking the face of the earth.
Yeah.
And he lets it out every once in a while, and every time he lets it out, it's funnier than anything else that's going on.
Yeah.
I love watching. Yeah. Everybody's all, "Oh, Joe, you haven't said anything in a while. You're not that talkative." He's waiting for his moment.
Yeah. He's waiting for that moment to just come in and fucking blow it up.
he's waiting for his moment to hammer freaking Eric hammer Eric, or his moment to give the shelf turd shit or whatever. But he just seems like literally one of the most genuine people. And I'm not sliding anybody else in Whiskey Too, but Joe just seems to be 100% genuine. Like,
Yeah.
Like he's not putting on a personality. This is a guy who had to put on a personality to be a Marine, but now he's being Joe.
Yeah.
So that's why I love
and that's
Joe.
what I like about him. He, I mean, like the first time I met him, he's like, shit, opened his bar to me, and I'm like, bro, I'm like, we see each other on camera. It's not like, like I don't care, man. Anything, I'm like, nah. That's why I didn't try no Pappies. I didn't try any of the other the more expensive shit, because I don't want it to look like I'm taking advantage of the situation and shit. Like I'm not like that.
No, I completely understand. I was thinking about that too, because what people don't realize is that weekend that Vic was there on the live with him, it was supposed to be Joe,
The four
Vic,
of us,
Tito, and me,
and you, yeah.
and I couldn't make it because of car issues. And Tito is Tito. He can make he can make it to places because we've had meetups at El Cerrito and stuff like that. It's just one of those things where Tito does have kids and a wife, and Tito does teach school on Monday. So if something is Monday night or something is Sunday night, it's really hard for him to commit to going and doing it. And I think that weekend he was actually in Yellowstone. He ended up going. He was camping that weekend.
Tito had a family thing, like a party or something.
Yeah. So, but there will be. I will promise you that at some point in time, there will be a stream with the four of us all in the same place.
Oh yeah.
It might not be a pub stream because I'm hoping that there's something that the four of us can do, whether it be. I'm kind of want to talk to Joe about this, but I'll put it out there. That way somebody can pull up, pick on Joe and see if he'll go this way. I want him to be Alex Trebek. I want him to do like a Jeopardy situation where the three of us are answering questions, and there's penalties and there's punishments and there's prizes. The punishments can be garbage that he throws at us or whatever, but the prizes can be you get to pick one of my Parker's Heritage to have a shot, to have a pour out of when this is all done, and he just keeps track of it. And at the end, we sit around and we go ahead and do our punishments and our prizes, and then Joe, then everything else, and then we just sit there and talk about the whiskeys, whether it be shitty or not. Talking about it and just hanging out for a couple hours. Just like a little 30-minute thing where we try to get some punishments and try to get some prizes, and then we sit around for an hour and a half just. And I think that Joe would fit perfect with the Alex Trebek asking the questions guy, and then me, you, and Tito being the smart asses.
I would be fucking dying and not answer shit, bro. I'll be just cracking up.
But that's kind of like my ultimate, that's what I really want to do with the four of us, because. So for those on the East Coast, Central Coast, anybody else that's not here in California or not here in Southern California, because Lone Wanderer, I believe, is in Central California. Bubble Bath Bourbon's not here. I thought Bourbon Baller was here in California, but somebody said something about him being an East Coaster earlier. But One Mo Cast, he's in Alabama. Amy Bones is in the Carolinas. But for those who don't know, me, Vic, Joe, and Tito all live literally within 45 minutes of each other in almost a square. Yep. Vic and Tito live closest to each other, and then it's 45 minutes for me to go to Vic, and about it's between 45 minutes and an hour depending on if I go to Tito's first or go to Vic's first. It's 15, 20 minutes the other way to go the other one. But for both of us, it's 45 minutes-ish to get to Joe. So we're kind of like in this weird freaking Bermuda Triangle of Southern California. But There's also Whiskey Fancies that's in Orange County. There's the Whiskey Neanderthal and the guys from
Long Wonder
Consider-
lives in Washington, bro.
Oh, Washington, that's where it is. That's right. He was. That's right. Noah is. I want to say Noah. I'm not sure. I'm going to mix that up because watch. I'll say Noah and Low Wonder's like that's not me. But I want to say him and Shayla have a thing where he has a bar or he knows a bar that he talks to her about. I forgot about that, buddy. Yeah, the One Mo Cast. I know that you're in Alabama because one of my best
Bourbon
friends.
Ballers in Washington too.
Oh, Bourbon Ballers in Washington too. Okay, cool. So the West Coast meetup looks like we can get one central place for everybody to move on the West Coast. We're gonna have some. Well, we got Baller. You know, Baller doesn't. It seems like Baller doesn't drink anything that's not at least. You know, he's
Fancy.
he's like what do you call it? Top shelf Dustin on the whiskey side, on the
west
bourbon
side?
on the west. Yeah, West Coast top shelf. No, he talks a lot of shit, but love you, Bourbon Baller. But yeah, one more cast. My best friend in the Navy, who my son was originally supposed to be named after before his mom changed it. His name was Ashley Fan, and he was from Gunnersville, Alabama. And love that dude to death to this day. I talked to him very rarely, but he's one of the people that saved my life when I was in the military. And then so he's from Gunnersville, and then also the fact that Leon and Trisha, they're from Muscle Shoals. So, and then she was raised in
Florida.
Gulfport, Mississippi. Right? No, not say Gulfport, Biloxi, Mississippi. We had that conversation last night.
Yeah.
If anybody gets a chance to watch last night, we talked about a meetup in Biloxi, and she's like, well, I can't tell my family I'm going to be there because I want to have fun type situation. It was really, really funny. And Trisha, I love you and Leon to death. You guys are awesome. I know that you went to bed already, or Leon, we all know Leon's asleep on the couch, but but yeah, one more cast. Yeah, I know that you're down there. I want to say you're close to Mobile. You're down there on the Gulf because you were one of the people that we talked about when all the hurricanes were happening before with Friday Night at Fred's and everybody and Pop 'em Watch 'em, having to evacuate. You were also one of the people I believe that was on the coast that we were like, it's not moving towards Alabama, so at least you'll be all right type situation.
Yeah,
you're in
right now.
you're in the northwest part. For some reason, I thought you were on the. Well, maybe you did a live from somewhere down. For some reason, you mentioned Mobile at one point in time. But northwest part of Alabama, which means you're up there by Trisha and
Trish and Leon are in the northwest.
Oh, okay. I'm just reading it wrong. Okay, they are up in the northwest Alabama. There you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I try to pay attention to where people are from. I know Emily Chambers is in Florida. I know that I get confused, but Amy Bohm's in the Carolinas. It's real easy to say she's in the Carolinas because then it covers 2 states. But I believe she's in North Carolina. Shane is as close to North Carolina as you can be without being in North Carolina. But he's in North South Carolina, near Charlotte. Everybody knows that freaking Whiskey Nose is in Tennessee. He lets us know that all the time. So I mean, I know where people are. Burban's in New York. We know that freaking Big Vic, and I always just say Orange County or OC because the area they live in is considered to be the OC. Tito's in Placentia. I want to say keep on messing it up. I know Big Vic is in
Westminster.
Oh, you're in Westminster. Okay. Trying to think. Fancies. The fancies I want to say are border Anaheim Hills. I'm not sure. SoCal Dram
I think-
Tram, they're up there near Cypress, not near Cypress, near Great Press. They live up that part, like right on the edge of Orange County, going into Riverside, right there.
Oh,
where,
on that other end. Yeah.
up there by 70. Was it not 74 or 72?
74, yeah.
The toll
72,
road.
Yeah.
Well, because Great Press is up there on that top end right there at the very top of the county. So
Yeah.
I want to say SoCal Dram Tram's like right in that same area. They might be like 15, 20 minutes away from there, but I know that they're closer to Great Press.
Yeah.
Yes, Amy Bowman's in.
And then you got co-op down in I think Anaheim area.
Yeah, see, that's the thing too. Everybody keeps talking about co-op, and I'm trying to figure out who co-op is because this is a channel I
John.
haven't. Yeah. So does he go by anything else like on Instagram or anything, or because it might be something I
Co-op.
know? Oh, so he's co-op on there too. Okay, yeah. So I have to check that out. But like I know a lot of people in Orange County that are on Instagram, like Malibu Boo, freaking the Neanderthal, Sleepless Kimmy, Picture Pro. There's a bunch of guys that are like the U.S. Liquor and Cypress regulars that are and
Right.
Red Hill regulars that are on Instagram, not on YouTube.
Right.
Then you got I want to call him an honorary Southern California guy, Jeff Weaver, El Jefe Weaver. He
Jefe
spends more. I
Weaver,
think he
yeah.
spends more time. I think he spends more time now in Southern California with Sleepless Kimmy and the Neanderthal than he does in San Francisco where he lives. But yeah, there's a lot of people down here. Then you got Tomato Guy down in San Diego. There's so many there's just so many people that I didn't realize were in Southern California until they start jumping into chats or hitting me up on Instagram.
Urban Nights.
Who?
Urban Bites.
Oh yeah, Clifton. Freaking Clifton's I knew he was in near Hollywood. I didn't know exactly where he was at. I knew he's near K&L because that's like his favorite place to freaking go. Then you got I'm trying to think who's up there in Pasadena.
Steve Birkin.
Yeah, Steve Burkow's up there. And then there's like a bunch of people or whatever, but it's just really cool to see that all these people from Southern California jumping in and stuff, people from all over the states. I still have 14 people that are listening to my bullshit. That's great. It's only 9/11, so we're gonna have to you guys are gonna have to just survive with me for another hour-ish, if depending on what Cheech is up to. Speaking of, if anybody could text Cheech for me and see, he might hold on a second. He might have texted me and I might have missed it. Hold on. Oh, Schlong freaking texted me like 2 hours ago. It's because I left in the bottom where my PayPal stuff's at. I left the connection to the old Wheels freaking GoFundMe. So yeah, if anybody, Amy, or I'm trying to think who else is in here that has his number, Emily, or anybody can, or even Vic can text Cheech real quick and just tell him to either jump in the chat or text me when he's ready to go so I can pass it off to him. Which is basically what I'm doing. I'm doing a one-time substitution for HBR, which is actually, surprisingly enough, my original time slot when I did lives.
I texted him.
All right, cool, thank you. So when I originally did start doing lives, this was my time slot. I did 2 hours, and then I asked. Then Chris was doing his Advent calendar last year, and so I was doing lives on Saturday, and then he was doing his lives kind of like during the same time, but it was I would get off for him to do his Advent calendar or whatever. And eventually it turned into I really couldn't do the Saturday Night Lives. So I asked him to do a Wednesday. He covered me on a Wednesday. Then he covered me on a Saturday. And I'm like, just keep it. He did like 3 weeks in a row. I said, just keep it. And then it's gone. It's just boom from there. He's had the Saturday night slot. And then I was just doing Wednesdays. And then and then I was pre-gaming on Saturdays, and then it was me and Adam was originally my second before Mike Stahl decided that he had to have him, and then that went to Livewire, and then they took over my Wednesday stream when I decided that I needed to take a break. They did the Wednesday stream for me a couple of weeks, and I said just take it, and they've been on Wednesdays ever since. So it's really cool because now I have those two outlets to just jump. If I want to jump on, I can jump on.
Yeah.
Chris has gone more of not having people come on. He does every once in a while. I kind of want to see him get back to bringing on other whiskey tubers like the Fancies, and I'd love to see him bring on Leon and Trisha, Deathless Dog, some of those other guys that are new that need that little bump,
Little kick, little push.
And also, I really think it'd be fun for him to talk to Black Bourbon Family. The two of them are so freaking cool and so freaking nice, and I think that watching them, that their palates kind of line up a little bit with the way HBR likes his whiskeys and stuff. So I think it would be interesting to watch them do their thing. But there's a lot of new stuff out there. Hey, JD, thank you, sir, for JD is presently in Lithuania, I believe. If I know that I'm very anticipating meeting Big Vic in person, anticipating meeting Joe in person, and a lot of other people, Clifton, the Fancies, Amy Bone, freaking Lone Wanderer, everybody in the chat. I really want to meet you guys, but I'm sorry. You have to, please don't hate me for this. The one person I look the most forward to meeting is JD, Bourbon Approach. He's from Palm Springs, out by us. And he grew up out there. He actually went to school with some people you might know that just happen to be in the band called Caius, and another band called Queens of the Stone Age. But that's his, Josh Homme and some of those guys. There were people that were around when he was growing up in the Palm Springs area. He's a really, really cool guy. He's been one of my hugest supporters. He sent me a lot, probably a good 4 or 5 bottles from Poland. When he was in Poland, he would order stuff from K&L here in Southern California, have it delivered, or even K&L. I had one come from Central California. Met his wife.
They have their main hubs in San Francisco, right?
Yeah, the main hub's in San Francisco, and then the stores go from there. Hollywood's their biggest. I think that Hollywood's is really their biggest sales store.
Yeah.
But the physical biggest store is in San Francisco, but that's also where the warehouse is at, so that's understandable.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, JD, I'm looking way forward to fucking hanging out with you and drinking some very interesting whiskeys, whatever you brought over, have sent back, or whatever that situation is. But there's a couple of Campbelltowns that you've put up that you sent certain other people in us that you hand delivered to Australia that I'm actually kind of hoping
jealous.
I'm jealous, and I'm hoping that there's one in Palm Springs so that when you do come out here in December that I would get to try that. That's I want to say it's a Glen Scotia, but I know I'm going to mess that up.
He might be here for the meetup in December with.
See, that's the other thing. I don't know how
Yeah.
long he's going to be here in December. I know that this is going to be the first time he's been back to California in a very long time. But if he is here at the same time Stahl is, and we have a meetup, I'm sure that he might have a few minutes to hang out and drink some fine whiskeys and scotches.
Oh yeah.
As a matter of fact, he's the one that actually gifted me my favorite my absolute favorite scotch, which is my Glendronach Revival.
Oh, nice.
Sorry. And speaking of old people like me, I'm gonna bring in. He's probably not even at my age. He just probably has gray hair because he has gray hair. But one MoCast.
Lots of gray hair.
What's up, brother?
No doubt. Big
How are
Dick,
you?
Nashville. How are y'all doing?
All right,
All right.
how you doing?
Oh, great. A little bit of a cold front coming into Alabama. We love it.
That means that certain individuals going to be out on his porch even more often smoking.
Yeah, pretty
cigars.
much. As much as I can. As much as I can, for sure. No doubt. No, just thank you, Mashville, for coming in tonight, Wags. I mean, I was like jonesing for a stream since 3 this afternoon. And finally somebody came on and brought it up and I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, so real quick, Emily Chambers, I love you, girl. Good night. Sorry you're not going to make it to Cheech's stream, but I'll pass on the hugs and kisses to, not physically, but the hugs and kisses on to Cheech. Yeah, so good night to you. And then JD, yes, I'm sure that I will like to partake in one of the 5, if not all of the 5 Glen Scotias when you come to Palm Springs. He's just JD's just been a real and as a matter of fact, I don't know. Okay, JD, can I tell him about the video? Is that something that you've put out to everybody, or is that just a certain group of us that you sent that video
Hey,
to?
Sherry.
Oh, Sherry going tonight? Going? Oh no, Sherry G's still here. Okay, she's just saying nice to Emily Chambers. Yeah, she's been lurking. Sherry G didn't. Yeah, I would ask her to jump on, but she was on live last night, and Sherry G likes to jump on lives very sporadically, so I won't push that one. So, what are we drinking, Cast?
Well, I'm about to open the FAE01, which I've had for a while.
So you haven't had it before?
No, I have not. I'm cleaning out the Yeti and about to open it up. Had the Welver 107. It was good. I did enjoy it. Not spectacular, but it's the first pour out of it. So I will try it more for sure.
Oh, so you popped a 107 for the first time?
Yeah. I'm still such a noob. I'm still trying so many different things that I don't know exactly what I'm doing all the time, but I do enjoy a lot of different bottles. I've been buying so many YouTube picks lately that I haven't even trying to get local bottles or even going to allocation days or anything. But you seem like I've gotten so many good pours and good bottles from the YouTube picks that why even try?
Well, see, that's the thing too, is that people don't realize is that, okay, when anybody out there that's quote unquote a noob, what they want to call themselves a noob or whatever, most of the people I see in the chat have been around with us for a while, us, the Whiskey Tube community, for pretty much the whole pandemic, if not a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So they've kind of gotten used to the fact that they started out with the regular 94 Elijah Craigs, and now they're barrel proof horrors, or excuse the expression, horrors, proof stitutes, or whatever you want to call them.
Exactly.
Right. So it's hard for some people to really like lower proof stuff or whatever like that, and they get into this whole pick thing. The thing is that now that everybody's doing picks, and the barrels, people need to realize that when you see a pick from Jason and those guys, this is a pick they've been working on to get for a year, because there's this long list of everybody that wants to do picks, and and even though Mash and Journey, ADHD, even Fred Minnick, and some of these guys are the upper echelon of Whiskey Tube, they're in the big scope of things. They're still like the lower 50 percenters when it comes to who gets picks and doesn't get picks ahead of other people.
Well, that's because they're not an actual store selling stuff,
right?
That get picks, exactly.
But even the people, even in if you go, they're not. There's no way they're going up against Bourbon Pursuit. There's no way they're going going up against some of these bigger guys. really right now. And now because of there's so many whiskey tube channels that are doing picks, the picks are now getting smaller. So
Yeah.
when someone says they're only getting 140 bottles, don't go, well, why the hell didn't you pick another barrel? They got that barrel and were lucky to get it.
Yeah, they were lucky to get it. Yeah.
And the thing that you have to remember is that these people that you're talking about in this small knit group of Destination Bourbon, Storytime Distillery, Mash and Drum,
Mash and
Bourbon,
Journey.
the Junkies,
Yeah, all of them.
all those guys that are in our immediate group of friends, they are trying to. They have a certain level of integrity that doesn't allow them to pick shit.
Yeah.
Or pick something that was
Which
marginal.
I hope they don't. Which is what we hope as Patreons, for those that they are for the various different channels, as I am. I hope that when they pick something and I want to pay for it, that they have, done their due diligence, and I know they have. So.
Well, yeah, I'm not a Sagamore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm not a Sagamore Rye. I'm not a Sagamore Rye fan.
Yeah, exactly.
But I bought Swordfish oil.
Bourbon. I love the bottle. I liked it.
Yeah, and it was good. It was good. I bought another cast strength to match up against it, and it's worlds apart from the pick to what was on the shelf. And people have to realize that sometimes picks are literally worlds apart from what you get on the shelf. If
and
you're
I
a fan,
was so sad when my last pour of my Swordfish oil. I was.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where when you go into Total Wine or you go into your local liquor store, they don't do picks, and you go up and you get yourself you just get yourself a regular everyday Maker's Mark 46. Okay. And you love it. You like it. And you go ahead and step up to 46 cast strength. You love it. You like it. When you get a 46 cast strength pick, do not be surprised if it's completely different than the 46 bottle you had before, because just like what was it that they were doing last Lob Creek, ADHDs.
Right.
The profile of Knob Creek is more towards the peanut, there's no chocolate, there's no cherry, but that Lob Creek is special because it has a heavy chocolate and a heavy cherry. And Adriana, who's the Knob Creek, our Knob Creek expert, immediately said, this is not like any Knob Creek I've ever had. Ice chocolate cherries. So
it's like I cracked my Lob Creek last night when I got home from work for ADHD stream. And I mean, not that I know everything, but I noticed that what they were saying. And I was like, well, that's because I've never been a Knob Creek guy. Never have. But I bought it for ADHD because he said it was this, and that's why I bought it. And I've enjoyed it for 2 or 3 pours.
Yeah, so it's like one of those things that people have to realize is that your everyday drinker or the stuff that you might, because there's people, I mean, some people aren't lucky enough to every once in a while, because I'm in Southern California, to come across certain bottles that I get at retail that is nowhere else in the United States are you going to get at retail.
We're going to get it. Yep.
So it's one of those things where, yeah, I might get a single barrel EHT, or I might get an Elmer T. Lee for freaking $59. I might get my favorite low proof. The only thing that I have below 90 that I actually will promote, Hancock's Presidential Reserve.
But you love it.
But it's good, right?
Yeah.
And in Russell's, I've learned really quick, because I'm a turkey fan. I learned with Russell's picks, the drastic differences can be between
so
picks.
much better.
But at the same time, a regular private select red label, or even a regular red label 6-year or 10-year freaking Russell's is freaking phenomenal.
Yeah.
But you have to be prepared as a person who doesn't necessarily go after picks or has the money or the way to get picks, that it's going to be different. It's going to be different. Sometimes it's just amplified what you already know. Sometimes it's a completely different profile.
And see, I mean, for the Russell's picks that I've gotten 2. from the Alabama State. And both have been very, very good. I mean, the Russell's Alabama pick we got 3 months ago is awesome. So then a local group over in Pensacola had a pick that came out like last night for the Pensacola Bourbon Society. And they were promoting it. I was like, oh, God, I'm at work. I can't go. And I was like, Facebook, I've got to get over there. I've got to get over there. They're like, come on, man, come on. But it's like a 9.5 year Russell's pick. I know it'll be good, but I've just got to get over there and get it. So, but as far as like the regular Russell's off the shelf, I've never bought one.
Okay, so was I right in the fact that you're on the Gulf?
Well, I'm close to it. I live in a place called Fairhope, town of Fairhope, Alabama, which is about 40 minutes from actual Gulf Shores, Alabama. But from my house to the west, Mobile Bay is about 4 miles.
Oh, okay.
So just kind of on that east, we call it the Eastern Shore. So it's just a place here, whatever.
So you're right next to that long ass freaking bridge.
Yeah, because I take that bridge every day going to work because I work in Mobile at a junior college. So I go across the bridge every day to go to work, no doubt.
Okay, so anybody that's ever been gone to Key West and driven on that long ass bridge that goes from Miami down to Key West, yeah, you can feel, you've driven that bridge and you're like, oh, this ain't that bad. I feel kind of safe. Drive the Mobile Bay Bridge, and then when you get done, if you don't have to use the restroom immediately on the other side, and your knuckles ain't white, you have no soul.
Well, I mean, it's Google Earth for traffic every morning because the way it comes into the way it's all structured, if there's a fender bender, it shuts it down. It's just amazing. There's so much traffic going through there between 6:30 and 8:30 in the morning, which I'm lucky I drop my son off at like 8:30 and then I'm going across. And I usually take the causeway, not the Bayway. There's two ways to get across, but they can both be backed up. So it's
fun.
Here and there and everywhere.
Yeah, it's hilarious. To me, it's just hilarious that so I've been to Alabama. When I first went to the Navy, I was stationed in Orlando. I was there for about a year going through schools and stuff. So, and my aunt was in Brandon, Florida. So I spent a lot of time there, but I made a couple trips to Alabama, and I spent a Christmas time and New Year's in Gunnersville. Yeah. I spent a couple days in Eufaula going carp fishing.
Yeah. Bass fishing capital of the world. That's what they say.
Well, that's what Eufaula is, but unluckily for me, my friend Ashley said, well, anybody can catch bass. You got to see the size carp. You got to see the size of carp we pull out of here.
They're huge.
They're gigantic.
They're huge. There ain't no doubt. The grass carp over there.
Yeah, goldfish ain't got shit on them big bitches.
No. Those grass carp over there are just them cow mules are nothing. They're crazy.
Yeah. So then Al stayed in an old ass Civil War cabin in Gunnersville for 3 days, going squirrel hunting and riding freaking ATVs. That was an interesting situation. Squirrel and gravy in the morning, baby. That's the best breakfast ever. Yeah,
back in the day.
Yeah, early. That's the thing too. Is really weird. Was earlier when Swami was on, I wanted to say something about it. Was I bought a 6-pack of KBS stout, the breakfast stout, and to try it because because people are starting to do these stout aged whiskey. So I was like, well, let me get an idea of stout beers, and everybody's doing these KBBS or KBS barrels. Wasn't a fan at all of the chocolate / coffee notes, but then I ordered and had it brought to the house last Sunday, breakfast, where it was like sausage and bacon, the freaking omelet, the whole 9 yards. And I said, you know what? They say it's a breakfast stout. Let's see how it goes with breakfast. And
And
I'll
it's
tell
good.
you right now, eating bacon and sausage and drinking that beer was fucking actually really, really good. It was literally like drinking just a cold cup of coffee with your breakfast, but it had like a little chocolate note to it. But it was something that seemed to go along with the fact that you were eating breakfast. I thought, because it says Kentucky breakfast out, I thought I did it as a joke. I was actually going to do a video of, hey, I'm having breakfast, and I was going to do a video, and then I was like, I actually had it. And I'm like, you know what? This is supposed to be a joke, but this is actually.
I'll take your word for it. I don't know if I can ever wrap my head around trying to do that.
Drink a beer with breakfast.
Yeah, I mean, no, I would drink a beer before I probably have breakfast. That'd be for the last probably 5 or 6 years, probably. I love breakfast, but I don't even hardly eat anymore. I mean, just I get up, go, and then about 11 or 12 o'clock, I start eating, and that's the way it goes. But that does sound awesome.
Let's see. So yeah, so JD Bourbon, JD was saying that his favorite low proof bottle is Redwood Empire Lost Monarch, and that's a hit. That's a hitter across the board.
Well, yeah, and I've heard so much about it, and that was the first one that I was able. I mean, they've had it at their local liquor store over in Florida. I can't get it in Alabama, so I was coming back from picking my mom and 100-year-old grandmother back and bringing them back home. That I stopped. I was like, I gotta stop this store, and they had all three of them: Lost Monarch and Redwood Empire, and all three of the expressions.
Yeah, the Emerald Giant.
Emerald Giant. And I wanted the Lost Monarch just to try it because I'd heard the good things about it. So
it's for when people talk about like they start talking about whiskeys and everything else. When you think about it, like if you were to say if there was one or two whiskeys that for the price is freaking great, but it's something that you would pay more for instead of paying. If there's something that you would pay, say $80 for instead of $40 for,
right?
And then there's an $80 bottle that isn't worth $40. You would easily switch places with say Lost Monarch and whatever, because Lost Monarch.
That's what you're picking up.
Yeah, the Lost Monarch just tends to it hits above its weight class. It's a good and for what and then that but that then again that's an MGP thing.
Yeah,
with
exactly.
MGP blended with their own stuff. So
right.
My thing is that I want to get a hold of this Grizzly Beast and Rocket Top because it's all their own juice, and I want to see how it compares to.
At the same store, I saw those like a month ago.
Price on them is crazy.
And I didn't even think about it. I was, those are cool. Oh, that's that. And I think I should have just okay, I'm taking it. And I didn't. And they're gone now. But, I just don't think about things in the correct line of thinking sometimes about grab it.
Just hit out here.
Yeah, they're 85. They're $85 a piece out here.
$85 a piece.
And
I mean, I paid $49.99 for the Lost Monarch, and I saw those. They were $60, $49.50 in Florida, not in Alabama.
Yeah.
In Florida.
Yeah. So the thing is like with that for me is that Lost Monarch I can buy for $39 in general. Yeah. I can go to Bevmo tomorrow morning and buy a case of it for $39 a bottle. These new Rocket Tops, which you'd figured everything else that Redwood Empire has put out, the haystacks and everything else, all dropped in California first.
Right.
This is the very first bottles that didn't drop in California first.
Yep.
By the time they got to California, they were so hyped they went on the shelves at $85.
Ooh.
And right now, secondary, I've seen bottles up almost $300 already.
Really?
Because
wow.
And the thing is that people don't realize this is this is quote unquote a limited release.
Yeah.
But it's a limited release until they get full production on it.
Right.
So eventually the Lost Monarch will always, as long as they can get NGP or whatever, will always be around, and so will
Emerald Giant,
and then the bourbon. Those will still be around because they still have MGP to mix with them.
Right.
But eventually their own products, the Grizzly Beast, the Rocket Top, and then their version of Lost Monarch will come out, and eventually
Eat all
will
their own.
be all
Take
their
it on.
own.
Yeah.
It'll be a whole different line of their own stuff that stands alone. The only people
what's
I
the- No,
So
go,
what's
yeah,
that?
I'm sorry.
no,
No,
go
go
ahead,
ahead, go
Cass. No, Cass, go ahead.
No, I was going another way. So continue, please.
So both of those are bottled in bonds, which was a good thing to come out with for your first juice, because you're telling everybody we've at least gone 4 years minimum doing this. It's not something that's new. It's not a 2 year or a 3 year that's been ultra aged or
Right.
anything like that. This is a straightforward 4 year seasoned freaking bottled in bond of their own juice. So that was a good move right there. The thing is that the only people I know that in California that have it is the fancies. That's the only people I've seen so far that have openly come out on Instagram and on YouTube and said that they have. Well, I know Grizzly Beast, but I'm pretty sure they have Rocket Top too, because they are they are Cypress girls, and that's the only place I know that dropped it. So they probably ended up getting both of them. But I'm not. I would normally, if it was something that I knew was readily available that they got a hold of, I might reach out to see if I get a sample of it. But this is something that right now is limited release, and I don't know how long it's gonna. I mean, tomorrow it could be completely gone from California. So if at some point in time they decide that they like it, don't like it, and they're willing to send me a sample, then I'll reach out to them and ask for a sample of it. But yeah, my hope is that I'm waiting on my bonus check from this last quarter, because 87,
Those are always nice, no doubt.
It's only a few $100s, but a few $100 gets me. And I told myself when I did this that I would use the bonuses for bottles and try to not use my regular paycheck or whatever for bottles. I just use that way. I had another goal at work.
Good little budget there
to get
sure.
bottles. Yeah. It was at work. I could just say, I want to get the bonus or whatever. But now I put this is how I'm going to get the higher end bottles is from bonus.
Yeah.
I won't buy a bottle over $35 to $40 off my regular paycheck. I'll only buy those off my bonus. So that's what the whole idea was, is that if this bonus check comes this week and Cypress still has both bottles, then I'll drop the $170, and then I'll end up sending samples to certain other people on the screen that would probably want a sample. I don't know. His name's probably Vic. I'm surprised that Joe hasn't gone to or had you go to Cypress and pick him up any bottles of that, because he really likes. He's a FOMO guy.
He's been to Cypress.
I know he's been to Cypress, but you're like not too far from Cypress.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised he hasn't gone to Cypress and got those bottles, because he's not really a FOMO guy, but he's also a guy that if he wants it, he's going to go get it. That's just the way it is. So I thought, he's going to be the first one to get it.
So let me ask you this. So going back on this, I missed the allocation day a couple weeks ago for Alabama. Is the Russell Reserves 13 going to be a annual release? I've heard back and forth. I don't know. Or is it not going to be an annual release?
From what I gather, it's. I want to relate it to the JD, the barrel proof
rye. Right. Okay.
Where originally they said it was just going to be a one-time thing,
but now we like it. So
then, like 8 months later, after they sold out, and then secondary was freaking $1,100 a bottle and all this other stuff.
Exactly.
That they realized that they had a hitter.
Yeah.
And
we might need to sell some more.
They're not doing it. They're not doing it again.
Okay, so
I thought they were
now. They're doing
individuals I've talked to have said that they're doing a new. Okay, so they're gonna do a barrel proof bourbon or a barrel proof whiskey, non-rye, but it's gonna be a hazmat. It's gonna be a hazmat Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is it, like 140? they're saying like the lowest bottle is like 141 or 140,
Yeah.
somewhere around there. And that the highest bottle that they've measured so far is like 153, or it's like way like crazy out there.
Really high.
But they're supposed to be putting out hazmat JD bottles this time, but it has been in the discussion. It has been said that they will do another barrel proof rye release, but I don't think they're going to do it this year. It might either be allocation next year, or it could be a end of quarter one, beginning of quarter two, that beginning of the year surprise allocation crap that people like to do. It might happen, but they used up the rye that they had for that barrel proof. So they're waiting for the other that they had that they weren't. There was kind of like, it was going to become JD, like regular single barrel rye. Now it's sitting to become, it's not going to be watered down or anything. It's going to be barrel proof. So now they're waiting for the aging on it just to decide what they want to do from there. I don't know. I haven't heard from Ben. Might know more about that. More than likely, Samurai is probably the one that's going to know a little bit more about the JD stuff. But I want to reach out to anybody that might have heard what's going on with GTS 2021. Not since it wasn't released. Are they making it a junior, or are they going to go ahead and, well, they're not going to let it sit for another year, because if it was garbage, if it wasn't up to their standards now, sitting for another year is not going to. I don't think is going to correct it.
Sorry about that.
No problem. So I'm just wondering, is it going to end up being an EHT? Is it going to be an EHT? They come from the same rick. From what I understand, they come from the same rick house.
That's
so,
right. Huh?
So is it going to be a special?
Yeah.
Is it going to be is it going to be the spring barrel proof? I mean, what are the chances that, if you think about it the way that Buffalo Trace does things, what are the chances that GTS 2021 turns into spring release barrel proof?
But it said it was not like up to.
It wasn't up to par for
it wasn't
right,
up to
but
GTS standards.
Taylor might.
So it's going to be okay. I see what you're saying. Maybe, but they said they were putting it back in the rick house to see what it did and revisit it then.
So what's the one thing that we know about Buffalo Trace?
They want to sell a lot of fucking whiskey.
They're promotion whores.
Yes, pretty much.
So they pulled this warehouse C thing that everybody saw right through right off the bat. Okay. So, and everybody's still trying to buy it, even though they know exactly what it is, that it was just something that was lying around. They decided to throw it. It's a money grab. So, like I'm saying, the GTS 2021, because it's already at cast strength or whatever you want to call it, to make it a barrel proof and then literally release it, telling everybody that this is 2021 GTS, but now we did such and such process to it. Now it's an EHT Taylor. Everybody and their freaking mother are going to buy the bottle to see why it wasn't good enough for GTS.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true.
Good supposition.
Good point.
Yeah.
And Buffalo Trace are whiskey money whores. And I'm sorry, I'll never get sponsored by them, but freaking.
One, because that's what they want. That's what they know. They want the money.
They have this shit running around like water, and it's allocated in like 40-something states.
It's allocated here every day. But this is the thing. You can still go. We have our allocation weekends, and till Tuesday or maybe Wednesday, you can still find the beat Buffalo Trace and buy it. But you can only buy one bottle, no matter what. And then they've allocated. Yeah, that's here. They've allocated early time bottle and bond in Alabama, which is my favorite just go-to sipper.
Yeah.
But they've totally, just because everything that happened with it, they've said, nope. Afraid not. And the really hyper-allocated stuff for Alabama, you have to, put your name into a sweepstakes and hope you get like picked, and that's
Cool.
it. It's crazy.
So so Trisha was showing us the list last night of allocation for Alabama for the allocation that's coming up. That was
I
this
haven't even looked for this month. I haven't even looked.
yeah. So she put the list
It's
up and showed it to us.
It's all Buffalo Trace.
And it was literally It was all Buffalo Trace, Blanton's, EH Taylor small batch. I mean, it was just a list of Blanton stuff that normal shelf.
There's only like specific stores and like around Birmingham and Mobile. The store we have in Fairhope, they will get the better bottles if there are any. The different from every store that sells enough will get the Blanton's, Buffalo Trace, and maybe EH Taylor. There's specific stores. You look through the list though, like 1 or 2 stores in Mobile, the store in Fairhope, and then everywhere else: Dothan, Birmingham, the northern parts, Montgomery. We'll get different stuff. There'll be 7 or 8 bottles there. Like last month, it was Russell Reserve 13, and then another bottle where the hype bottles people wanted to get.
But you're state controlled, so therefore it's retail.
Yeah, no, it's retail. They may only have 6 bottles of it, but it's retail. That's like, all right, 2 months ago, I went to my local store, put my chair out at 9:30 the night before. There were 2 people in front of me. I was number 3. I wasn't going to stay all night. So I said, just let them move my chair back. I came back the next morning at 7. Well, 6 o'clock. I was number 15. And I missed out on the Weller Full Proof and something else they had that everybody was looking for. But I still bought a Blanton's and a Elijah Craig Barrel Proof for MSRP at number 13. At number 13 in the line.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I've been lucky enough being. I guess maybe it is a Southern California thing. When it comes to Elijah Craig Barrel Proofs, when they come out, I've never had to buy one above retail.
Yeah,
I've always
it's not
had
real.
to get them.
It's not retail. It's just, can you get it right there? Because if it goes to another store, it's gonna be secondary. But still, I saw a B521 for 100, and I didn't see another one. I should have bought it. It was at a store down in Gulf Shores on the beach, and I probably should have bought it, but because I didn't see it anywhere else.
Yeah, so I see some good news for Stan at least. JD Bourbon Approach says that he has a Rocket Top and a Grizzly Beast already in Palm Springs for when he comes in December. So at least if I don't get it before then. Oh, hold on. I got a phone call. Guess who it is? Hello, sir. I am fine. Just wanted to find out when you were going to be ready to be handed off to.
That'll be Cheech.
Yep.
All right.
Big Ben, can you watch
Yeah, so go ahead.
Chat from
All
StreamYard?
right, cool. Just
Do I
hit
do
me up
what?
in the chat and say you're ready, and
You
then we'll
watch
hand it off.
Chat from StreamYard. I'm just in StreamYard. So
All
I'm
right, talk to you in a bit.
Chat.
Bye.
You can't see chat.
The chat, you got to go on the bottom next to the X where it says leave, or the one that says chat.
Well, you got to take off?
No. I'm just
wants
sitting
to see
there.
the chat.
No. I was just wondering how to see chat from StreamYard. No big deal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on the bottom, you see where it says mic, camera, cam, and mic.
Yeah.
Okay, then the next one is the chat, right before the red X.
It says mute, stop cam, mic, share, leave studio. Not that big of a deal.
Share.
Share.
Click
Okay.
on share.
If you go over all the way to the right, you'll see a thing on the top. It says comments.
Oh, okay. You have.
Okay.
And you just click comments.
Sorry.
And then,
thank you.
Now it is on a delay. It'll be
Delay.
on a slight delay from freaking the regular. Right now it's up to, because JD's the last one to make. There's only 8 people, so and 3 of us are on screen. JD just was the last one, so yeah. So yeah, that'll be good, JD. You actually just made my day, sir. But yeah, so that was Cheech, if everybody can tell. He's on his way home right now, and he'll be ready to go in approximately 30 minutes. So you're stuck with me, all 8 of you, or just the 3 of us, whoever, whatever, until Cheech goes on. He'll jump in the chat, and then once he jumps in the chat and says hand it off, then we'll go over there and hang out for a little bit.
Well, I mean, I'll say this because I was jonesing for a live stream all night, but I've been trying to, and I guess I don't know how to use Instagram as good as I should because I was looking for stuff from the Bastards Ball all day, trying to see what was going on, what people were doing, just getting trickles of posts, here and there, but finally figured things out a little bit, Whiskey Tribe, to what to look for. And people out there having a good time. There's no doubt.
Yeah. The only one that kind of jumped out at me was like there was a little bit of trickling of here and there. Chris Hot Buttery Rolls hasn't done. He's even told me on the thing. He's like, dude, I've been like all over the place with with everybody, and he goes, I haven't taken a whole lot of pictures or done anything yet. It'll be more hopefully tonight. But Kilko.
Michelle just posted one.
Yeah, Kilko was with Rotgut at Still Austin today, at a tour over there, and he posted that. And then Kilko's been pretty good about posting stuff for the last few days.
I finally saw some of his stuff today. Yeah,
yeah, and then I hadn't seen Michelle or Williams. Did Michelle post it as Michelle or as Women of Whiskeys?
I think
the one thing I saw of her was Women of Whiskeys. And she had some HBRs and HBR stuff and other stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's I just put it out a picture of her with Chris and Kilko and Kilko's mom. I'm so glad, dude. You don't know how glad I am that Kilko got out of his freaking house. And
yeah, exactly.
His mom convinced him to buy tickets for her to go to the Bastards Ball so that he could go because he was still kind of him and hawing about going by himself. But
yeah, he needed to be out of his house. I totally agree with that.
Yeah. So
just catching some of his streams knows that. I mean, and he understands what's going on. I think, but it's good for sure that he. I mean, I'm giving as much as like get my car back going, no matter what. Do this, do that. Just because I'm in a position I can. So many people of the Whiskey Tube community are so giving, which is amazing. That just to be that little bit to get him there maybe is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, JD's all over that K&L website. So he's like, K&L had had those bottles, those Redwood Empire bottles 3 days ago and sold out in 1 day. Yeah. They only had 36 bottles of each. That's how it is. That's how everybody's getting it. It's like 5-6 cases a piece, and it's like not every store. It's like specific stores that know the right guy. I'm sure High Times got maybe got a few more cases, but that's only because High Times is probably one of the bigger Southern California.
They're selling more, so they get more.
Well, no, also maybe not with the Redwood Empire, but I know when it comes to anything that's Buffalo Trace, they're like Southern California's leading freaking seller of Buffalo Trace products. But also, if you ever follow Old Man Bourbon on Instagram, he is the distributor. He is the contact for the distributor. And he was the guy he was the very first person to get E.H. Taylor bottles in California. and the very first store he got them into was High Time, and that was like 10 years ago or whatever like that. So they have a special relationship directly with E.H. Taylor stuff,
Right.
and everything else has kind of jumped on with it. So whenever there's like the barrel proof, they might not get a whole lot, but they're usually the very first people
Get one of them.
to get it.
That's the bad thing about our state, because like the northern stores get the primo stuff. We get decent stuff down here in the south part, but the really, really good stuff seems to go either to the Mobile store or the Birmingham, northern part of the state stores. So bad.
Bobby just posted that a picture of him from earlier today. I'm sorry, Bourbon Battalion. He's with Zach Andrews and Scotch for Dummies. Kilco posted another Still Austin. Michelle posted one from In the Fang. It looks like she's in the Fang and Feather. Yeah.
You found those on IG?
Yeah, on Instagram. So if there's anybody out there that doesn't know, that's not a big Instagram person and wants to follow stuff from whiskey or whatever, or some of these straight related to whiskey tube channels, and you want to like start following Whiskey Gram channels or whatever, Whiskey Gram stuff, you can go to mine, which is _Mashbill. Go to following, and I try to limit all of my following on that Instagram to just whiskey stuff, whiskey related stuff. There's a few other ones in there, but in general, those are a lot of them are the bigger Instagram whiskey channels, but it also has like Independent Joe, his Instagram, and freaking Women of Whiskeys and Hot Buttery Rolls, Kilco, Mash and Drum, Rot Gut. All their channels are on there for Instagram. So if you didn't know how to get to them, you can just go literally to my following, and you can go right down the list and pick out whoever you see in the chat. Emily Chambers' Instagram's on there. Is there for you to hit up. JD Bourbon Approach has an awesome Instagram where he takes where he has pictures of. It's amazingly enough pictures of bottles in really cool places of Palm Springs, even though he lives in Europe. The secret behind that. But his other is he was taking for a while there while his wife is actually over in Europe with him, and he does it on his own. Also takes pictures of bottles at castles and old, relic buildings and stuff like that in Europe. And it's really, really cool to see that. He's one of my favorite. Actually, it's one of my favorite Instagram channels because it's something different.
Cool.
And then when you go to whenever you're over there and you're checking out those Instagrams, make sure you go ahead and hit those little hearts, which means you like the little their like buttons. Make a comment, because just like here, it adds to the algorithm and it all helps them out. Even though I only have 220 over here on Whiskey Tube, I'm almost to 800 on Instagram actually right now. I'm hoping that if I really put my mind to it, that I can be at 1,000 on Instagram before the end of the year.
See, that's the thing with Instagram. It's all about what you put out, what you get, and stuff. And I've been a big Instagram, even more. I've got several Facebook things, and for all of my fishing stuff. And I've had my Instagram for 11. I've fluctuated between like 825 to 875. I've never been able to break that 900 or 1,000 mark. And once you do that, it really can kind of take off and stuff, and you'll get more stuff. But it fluctuates with all the bots and all the, Eastern European foot models that are liking your channel or whatever. But just to organically grow like a fishing channel like I have, it takes a long time. And you got to sort through what you get. But if you get a few key people that are big in the industry, that if they like one or two things, it will definitely grow you up. But I've been right today I was looking at like gained 30 and I was up to like 892 or something. And just get over that 900 mark, you'll be good. But it just takes time. It just takes or getting the right people.
Well, what is your Instagram? Is it one? It's not One Mo Cast, right?
It's one. It's one more cast, but it's ONEMOR cast.
Okay.
Somebody didn't have that. Not ever. I mean, I do things organically. I don't really try to push a lot of it nowadays. But
Yeah.
I've got a Facebook page. I've had one more cast as my Facebook page forever. I got like 100. Like I just broke like 200 people on that. But it's a really good name. But I just haven't like pushed it as much as I wanted to. I mean, I used to do more YouTube stuff and fishing stuff, but it takes a lot of time. You got a family, you got a job. It's tough to do
Yeah.
everything. It is,
I mean,
especially fishing videos. Fishing videos take a lot.
Yeah, I live by. I mean, I'm by myself and everything else, but even sometimes once you get going, you realize that what you do as a hobby has now become a kind of a job.
Yeah.
And then
Mm-hmm.
when you start thinking about that, sometimes it starts. You're sitting there going, "But I do love this job, but I didn't want it to be a job. I wanted it to
Right.
be just for fun."
It's fun,
And
right?
then you have to like step back and you have to.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's that's part of my whole thing when I went off for. I mean, things happened that caused for me to have my quote unquote breakdown and freaking completely drop YouTube for 2 months.
Yeah.
That whole thing. Part of it is that it was because I had got a new job when I was just doing just YouTube because I was off of work for that. I was out of work for a whole year.
Well, it's not that big a deal.
It was a job,
not easy, but it
was also a hobby because I didn't
come
have
to
to
work.
worry about.
It's
I didn't have
easy.
to worry
It's
about
fun.
nothing else. But now I'm working, and then I'm trying to do this, and now it's become I'm have less time to do stuff. So therefore, I'm forcing myself to make time to do this, which is taken away from me doing other things that make me happy. So guess what happens? Freaking, it turns into a job.
Pregame.
Oh yeah.
So,
All right, I just smoked the last one. Well, I smoked a Kintsugi, like Robusto small. Then I had Texas Lancero that I left out here on my back porch for a week. And I said, I'll try to smoke it. And why not smoke it? So I just finished that. Now I'm going to light this up. So I'm more of a smoking guy right now than I'm drinking. I got the FAO1 in the cup, and I'm just like sipping on it. It's good. It's very good, no doubt. It's not the regular Maker's Mark that I would think.
oh no, it's just like that's the other thing too is that if I was going to pick a store pick ish type thing to go after, I'm not a Maker's fan. I'm not.
Yeah,
I like it, but I'm not a fan. It's something that I can drink if it's there, but if it's not something I'm seeking. But I can say the closest thing to a store pick is a private select,
right,
or a wood finish. So,
what about the cast?
Some places use private selects as store picks.
Right.
Like you'll see like the Bevmo freaking private select or the Total Wines select. But there's other ones out there that are just regional that someone made quote unquote a pick, but they're put out to multiple stores like Sugar Cookies, S'mores. I'm trying to think what the other one was. Swedish Fish was one of them. Where it's a private select. They give you the barrel. They show you what the barrel staves are, but it's not specific to a store or to a chain. It's just specific to, hey, we're putting out these private select barrels. They're going out to whatever, like especially like in a place like say Alabama, anything that's state ran.
Yeah.
When you get a private select Maker's Mark, that's not specific to a store. It's usually specific to a state. So it's something you can get It's something that you can get everywhere. Get it.
Yep.
Those private select barrels are freaking.
And they are, but that's the way it goes in Alabama. They have those statewide. The whole state is pick that bottle. But even in Alabama, so then they do this. they say only certain stores get those bottles. So not of all the ABC stores in Alabama, the hundreds of ABC stores, only 20 of them get picks.
Yeah.
So I've seen places, and
But
luckily
it would
my
be
store
because they're
repair.
the ones that sell more, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, they definitely do. They
Yeah.
sell more of them. They do all that. They're the bigger volume stores, so
Right.
that's why they get them. But they get all the barrel selects and all that kind of stuff, and all the barrel picks, and that's where they come. So I'm very lucky with that. And I found several, like they were supposed to release this day a Russell's Reserve Alabama pick with a limit on them, how many you can buy, and then they were in my store, and no, you can buy that, you buy as many as you want. So I bought 4, and they were a great Russell's Reserve 10-year pick. Oh God, it was so good. I'm still holding on to a lot of them. Yeah.
Real quick, somebody in the middle of debauchery, Kilco Whiskey Musings is
There he
in the
is.
chat. I'm living in whiskey madness right now, so loud I cannot hear you kids.
Oh God, tell Kilco to give us stories. That's what I want.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, Kilco.
I don't have the chat.
My bad. That was
If
that was
at
my
any,
phone. My
if
bad.
if there's any chance of you just pushing the link up there, even if you don't say anything, if you could just move the camera,
Get on
around
your
and
phone,
have
no matter
people-
what. We want to
have
see what you're
people-
doing.
Yeah, have people wave. I've got to see this. I'm so upset that I'm missing this.
Yeah, Mexico, you're the one that got to be there.
You know what's really bad is that I didn't think anybody really gave 2 shits whether or not I was there or not, or whether I was able to be there or not.
And
And,
then
like,
how many people have said, Nashville, you should be here?
Yeah, so I talked to Chris earlier to make sure he wasn't going to try to do a live. And he's like, dude, you really need to be here. There's a whole bunch of people that are literally asking why you weren't here, because they know that me and Chris talk not all the time, but we do stay in touch. Me, him, Cheech, Brian, a few of us, Vic and Joe. I'm always not. I don't stay in touch.
You're part of Whiskey too, man. You should be.
Yeah, but they're like, I mean, but I've really kind of been out of it, other than jumping a few lives here and there for a while.
Doesn't matter.
But like Ed, I made a comment to Ed because Ed put that video out when he was on. They're flying to. So Ed Rock Get Review, when he was did the video when they're getting ready to get on the flight, I made a comment, and he's like, "Why aren't you here?" I'm like, "Because I can't afford it. It's fucking expensive as shit, and I just started a new job that I don't have any vacation for." But the truth is that
next year.
Even this morning I woke up. I got off of the live last night with Bourbon. It was about 2:00 in the morning or so here, I think it was, and I set my alarm for 6:00 in the morning to check flights to Austin to see if I could afford, see if they could find a really super cheap one. To fly out and then fly back freaking first thing tomorrow morning, just to go hang out with people today. And it was still like everywhere was like I couldn't get there till like 7 or 8 at night. I had to get a rental car or whatever, or because by that time there's no way I'm going to call Chris or somebody to come pick me up because they're probably feeling really, really good. And then finding someone that's going to let me at least take a couple-hour nap on their floor in their freaking hotel room to jump in to go back and fly out Sunday. I mean, I found a flight for like 210, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, no, I would love to do it, and I'd probably have a great time, but then I kick myself in the ass for not just maybe starting to save up for next year or saving up for some sort of meetup. Like Cheech is going to have a Florida meetup. Shane's talking about the possibility of a Biloxi meetup. Well, no.
Or Biloxi,
yeah, he posted
Biloxi. Who's talking about doing that?
Shane, because he was like sitting there. They were trying to figure out really cheap places.
Story time.
To go story time.
Oh yeah, Shane Long.
Shane Long. So he was he was sitting there going, well, Biloxi. I heard
they do Biloxi.
Really,
I'll be there. I'll be there for that.
Yeah. So he was like, he looked up this house while he was sitting there to rent an Airbnb. It's a stilt house It's like a stilt house on the water. It's got a stilted pool.
Everything's
and
right.
jacuzzi.
Yeah,
Everything. Yeah,
everything's
that's
right.
right. It
Yeah.
has 11 bedrooms, sleeps 22 people, 20 something people. That's not counting like floor space for people to
No.
pass out. So,
No.
and it was like $369 a night. So you would figure that if you could get 20 people to commit, or even like 10 or 15 people to commit to coming there for a couple days, like a weekend, it's only like $1,200 for the rental. If you got 12 people to drop $100 a piece towards the rental part of it, and
That's
then
easy.
pay their own ways there, that's like freaking. There's nowhere else you could go do that.
No.
Or you get like a
Yeah.
big ass house like that.
It's super
on the
cheap. It's
water
easy
for
to
4
do.
days.
It's easy.
Yeah.
Things are easy to do. It just takes people. I'm gonna get this many people. Like, I mean, Whiskey Mountains, Adriana, when they all in Livewire, they all went out to Utah and do that thing, the Davilars and everything. That was awesome. That was on like 10 or 12 people
Yeah.
to do that and go out there, and that was an awesome time. It looked like, and it could easily be done wherever
Yep.
somebody decided I want to do this here. Let's do it. Let's go. I think for sure.
Yeah. So, my thing is that, like, so right now, the first quote unquote meetup that's planned right now is Southern California in December when Stall comes out. It's a few of us from here in Southern California. We're planning and trying to figure out where we're going to do it, but a meetup of some of us out here, and anybody else that just doesn't really care about hanging out with their family for Christmas that wants to come out here could do it too. But so just as like a little like personal or whatever you want to call it, small meetup. Hopefully JD's around. That'd be great too. But the first major meetup that's planned is springtime in Florida with
March.
Cheech. And then
What part of Florida?
It'd be, I'm trying to think where he's at. He's south of Jacksonville, but north of Orlando. So he's like, I want to say halfway in between. Cheech is very secretive about that, but he's
See, I thought it was like in Texas or something, or
well,
I thought it was way
No,
Never mind,
he's in
okay.
Florida.
in Florida. Okay, that's cool.
so Chris is going to watch this, and this is why I don't want to say much.
Do
but-
not divulge what you don't need to divulge. It's quite all right.
Okay. But like I know that they've been trying to get together some sort of Texas meetup that's not the Bachelor's Ball, where people can afford to go. Because I was thinking, we were talking about this before. Oklahoma City may not be the center of whiskeydom, but it's a center.
Right.
It's a center place to a lot of people.
Good place. A lot of people you can get there easily.
Right. So especially people like Busey and West Coasters to Oklahoma City is not that bad. East Coast to Oklahoma City, not that bad. Texas is right there, and a lot of people from Michigan, so that's not really that much of a.
Yeah, they can come straight down.
It's not that hard. And those guys, people in Ohio, Kentucky, I mean, it's like not that So like Tulsa or Oklahoma City or something like that, getting something together in like as centralized as possible so that it was evened out for everybody across the states. People have been pushing for a Kentucky meetup, but nobody's taken the reins on that, trying to set something up. It's going to be kind of hard to do because people have already committed to Whiskey Weekend and the money to that. So trying to put together something else in Kentucky that's going to cost probably a decent amount of money is going to be hard when we can
It's
go
gonna be tough.
when we can go to Biloxi or we can go to Oklahoma City or something like that, and it'd be significantly cheaper to do the same thing.
Let's
and
have a
it's all
good
just
time.
everybody
Have a
hanging
good
out.
time. Yeah.
So it's like and then Stahl wants to do a Colorado meetup. Basically, instead of Utah, this next time they want to do Colorado, where everybody that was that was in Utah goes to Colorado, and then other people come. Like I'm Chris. So Hot Buttery Rolls said that he would love to do a Colorado meetup, but he's got his life too. Everybody's got their lives, but
Oh yeah.
if I would love to, I mean, I lived in Colorado Springs for a couple of years. I would love to go back there to Colorado and do a hangout too. It's just like we got to get. It's like one of those things where just got to get all the numbers and everything else right for people to be able to do it. Because I'd like to put together a meetup where Kilco, who has a very small budget to be able to do stuff, people that no matter what their budget would be, at least have a chance to go ahead and say, yeah, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and drop. They can team up with somebody to get a hotel room, and then they just got to come up with the money for their flight, and everything else is pretty much people will be bringing bottles. You can bring some bottles with you. We're going to do some hunting. We're going to do this or whatever, so that everybody's having a good old time together, but not spending a whole bunch of money they didn't plan on spending. So.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, once JD gets his final cut of the video, I'll promote it. It's actually it's a video that he that some people put together over there with him in it. That's actually it's a really badass video. It's like almost like a promotional video. You're waiting for at the very end of the video when it says Bourbon Approach, that you're getting ready for the tag, like a tagline and a website, and then when you go to the website, it's like this big whiskey merch type situation or something like that. It's just it's really it's a cool video that leads towards, like, it's not like a normal B-roll video, it's a full A-roll video, so it's really freaking cool.
Okay.
So when he gets done with that and he gives me to go ahead to push it out on the YouTube, then
Then it'll be out there. No doubt.
I'll feature it, and everybody can give him their feedback for it. So
Yeah, and all the 8 people that are here, like,
yeah,
don't forget about Monday,
Uh-huh.
that fundraiser.
yes, that is another thing.
Independent Joe's.
Who's doing that? Is that Adriana?
No, so back-to-back
No.
Monday after the Shelf Turds, Independent Joe will be doing a charity stream.
Independent Joe.
For, it's I'm not gonna beat the shit, botch the freaking name of the quote-unquote charity, but it's a veterans charity that he's doing, like $5 donations. You get to, and then you get put into the giveaway thing. Myself personally, I'm donating a 2005 10-year Glenmorangie bottle. I have
Scotch?
Yes, it's a Scotch bottle
Nice.
that I've actively searched out these bottles, and I came across a backup to my back. Now it's a backup to my backup, but for these 2005 bottles, and so I decided that, you know what, he was asking if anybody wanted to donate a bottle. I'm like, you know what, this is one of my favorite scotches, but it's also something that's kind of like,
It's worthwhile.
there's a special.
How much is that bottle?
Okay, so it goes for a few $100s. I bought both of them actually at a little tiny store in Banning. A little like off the wall store in Banning. They had a bunch of Dusties. I bought them for $49 a piece.
Okay.
I basically bought them for the normal retail price.
That same brand or the year? You're talking
No, the
about?
same year. 2000. Both of them are 2005 10 years.
But a regular 2021 badge. How much?
A regular 2021 badge is $39. So it's only it was only like a $10 difference in what I paid for it.
I saw some down here in one of the markets for like $35.
Yeah, so that's like a normal price for a Glenmorangie 10. The only reason that this has like this is one of those things, like, I hunted, and it's an old label bottle, so like it's completely different than what the label you see now on a Glenmorangie. It's their old one that they had for like 30 something years.
I saw the same bottle like that one.
If you can find a bottle like that for $35, just check the date. You can check the date, the date on it. You can just literally go online and it tells you month and year that it was bottled. Because that label stopped being printed in 2013 was the last year that label got printed on a bottle. So technically anything that you would find that has that label on there that's at retail price is because whoever's selling it doesn't know that they have something that they could actually charge more for. And those are bottles they don't make anymore. Those are the what do you call it? Those are labels that aren't on bottles anymore. So 2003, like mine, I just happened to come across, like I said, two of them that I was lucky enough to be 2005s. I just like Glenmorangie 10, and I knew it was the old label, and I didn't care how much they were worth. I just wanted to see originally what the taste was of a 2005 bottle compared to a newer bottle, and the 2005 bottle is just slightly different, but it is a little bit better. But they haven't. It's not like a lot of bottles over years when they change labels or they change things about it that it taste. There's a drastic change in the taste. If you drink,
is that what you expect?
Yeah, it's great. It's exactly what I expect. I expected it to be close, and I expected it to be really almost the same thing. If it wasn't the same thing, and it really was, but it just had there was just a deeper aspect to it. It was the same flavor, it was the same profile, but just had a little bit more intensity to it. So it was really cool. It was really cool to be able to do that, to take a bottle from 16 years ago and compare it to a bottle from now to see how much things have changed. It's just like
that's pretty amazing, actually.
It's just like these.
I think if you put the time in to find something like that,
yeah, I haven't seen that bottle.
Even just a little bit could be very interesting.
Yeah.
But, to put that time in to find that bottle is pretty amazing.
Yeah. So the Kentucky Spirit bottle that I have right there is a 2011 Kentucky Spirit. I want to say 2011 or 2013. I need to get freaking bifocals. Oh my god! This is a 2013.
Transitions are great, baby. Transitions. That's what you need.
I've been trying. Literally, I've been trying for so many years to not have to do it, and now I don't have much of a choice. But
I'm 45, and it's easy.
Yeah, so that's a 2000. That's a 2013 bottle that I got at Mega Warehouse out in Hemet, and so
Mega Warehouse, that's the one that has all the allocated shit.
Yeah, that's the one that if you're willing to freaking decide to dedicate a a credit card to it,
a whole check on that.
Yeah, if
they give you what you want.
Oh, he's got literally, it's one of those places where by the time you look at what he has, you're trying to figure out what he doesn't. Because he's got like if you're looking for a heavy Char Parker's Heritage,
yeah,
and you're willing to pay, $600 for it, it's on his shelf waiting for you to come grab it. He's got 7 JD single barrel proof rye sitting on the shelf.
How much?
He wants $300 for them. But people buy them.
That's the going rate.
That's the bad part.
Yeah, that's the bad part.
Right.
Is that
people buy? There's a lot of people that buy them, and he knows what the fuck he has.
But it's also.
I don't think I'd pay the $300 for the JD. I've got a Jack Daniel's rye that I won off HBR Spring. I was very lucky. I've got it. I protect it. I don't hardly drink it, but I think I would. The Parker Heritage, I would probably think about paying that. I think I would. Because I just don't think I'm going to find it because you're not going to find it here, there, everywhere.
Well,
that may be a bottle you're just going to find there.
Parker's Heritage, the Parker's Heritage
so
is
special.
One of those bottles. Those are the one of those few bottles, if you think about it, one of those few bottles that when it comes out, that it's actually put out on the shelves is allocated.
Right.
It's they tell you ahead of time, we have they let you know exactly how many bottles they made before they actually distribute them.
Right.
So you know that Weeded had what 300 and
Off the bat.
something, 300 and something bottles or whatever it was. I think it was.
Was it?
It was really
Something
short.
like that.
Yeah, it's like
Very
300 something
very
bottles or whatever. But it's being
Very
distributed across. It's being distributed across 50 states, and it's only being distributed. And actually, it's not even distributed across 50 states. I don't think any. I don't know how many of the ABC states that it's going to be distributed to. I think it's very limited
We
to
won't
the
see
ABC
it.
states.
We
But
won't see
it's
it probably.
really it's going to be really hard to get. The thing is somebody just told me on the live stream last night. Somebody said they got a hold of one of those Weededs. I'm trying to think who it was.
O'Neal.
Yeah, that's right, Will O'Neal, and
Yeah.
they might be able. I mean, I would definitely hit up Will. I would definitely hit up Tim Evans.
I talked to him last night.
I
Well,
haven't seen him in a
we-
little
we
while,
stayed on
but
chat.
Uncle
He's
Buck.
he's in Cheech. He's in Cheech's chat. O'Neal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Cheech says he'll be ready to go in about 5 minutes.
Cool.
So so like if you hit up the Chicago crew, or even maybe hit up
Tim.
well Tim
Or Big
Evans,
League.
The Big League, because I mean he's not in
Yeah.
Chicago, but there's a Benny's near him. He might be able to get something, a hold of something like that. Now you're going to probably have to fucking. He might tell you need to come out to his house and have a boxing match, and whoever wins is going to get the Weeded. But Big League, if he can take care of you, he will. Chris Ludwig is literally one of the
He's the best.
best
Yeah, he's
dudes.
awesome. He's good people. They're
Yeah.
good people, no doubt.
And people don't give him credit for the fact that he has just as good of a freaking whiskey collection as Independent
shit.
Joe, as freaking Michael Klein, as any of those guys that got the big freaking hitter collections. Chris
He
has
has
a
a massive
hitter
collection.
collections, and there's a lot of stuff you don't see where he talks about it. And if you listen really, really close, and you
Good.
ask him
I
the
got
right
that.
questions, if you ask him
Oh
the
yeah,
right questions.
I got that over there.
Yeah. He's like especially with the turkeys, like the dusty turkeys, he tells you
Yeah.
when he gets them, but then he doesn't mention them again until you ask him, hey, so whatever happened to those dusty turkeys? Oh yeah, I still have like 3 of those Austin Nichols 2013s. And if you reach out to him and he has something that he can get to you that he's willing to give up,
Yeah.
he's not going to charge you extra for it. He's going to tell you exactly
Yeah.
what he paid for it. He's going to hand deliver it to you, and he's going to be happy that you got it. He's definitely a very freaking good a really freaking good dude. That's the one thing around this whiskey tube that I can honestly say. There's not a whole lot of, you never meet a bad guy.
Wags, read Edward Fulmer's chat.
Yeah, I saw Parker's Heritage Heavy Char for $125 when it dropped. Pass on it because I didn't have the money, and I also didn't know what it was at the time. Yeah, it was $125 the first day, and then it was freaking because you can't touch it heavy. You can't touch it.
Jump on it, baby.
See, I know somebody that some of us know that has, I think, all but one of the Parker's Heritage. He's on.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. But we can talk about this another time, or we can talk about it over on Cheech. So everybody, all five people, head on over to Cheech. One more cast. Thanks for being on. Vic, same thing. Neophyte, Two Hills Down, Swami, thanks a lot. I'll see you guys over on Cheech. Love y'all.
Hey, thank you, Wags. Good time.
Yep. Thank you.
Later.